from your kitchen. Call and reserve or Google Fox and Hounds Restaurant.
4 years ago, I opened a doggy dream space unlike anything in Wisconsin. A place that offers it all: daycare, boarding, grooming, and a one-of-a-kind indoor-outdoor dog park and tavern. A hangout as fun for humans as it is for hounds. I'm Leah, proud owner of the Hounds and Tap in Menominee Falls. Our love, passion, and commitment to dogs and the community are at the core of everything we do. From our incredible staff to top-tier services, we've built something truly special at the Hounds and Tap. Come see for yourself. Visit the Hounds and Tap in Menominee Falls today.
Built Right Furniture, Leather, and Mattress.
You gotta get to Built Right today.
Think you've got more heat in your cannon? Well, last time told a different tale.
Swing and a miss. He gassed him up. He blew him away. 102 miles an hour.
It's the Brewers and Pirates in Milwaukee. Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts tonight at 6:05 on the home of the Brewers. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 12:01. I'm Greg Matzek. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Tuesday, August 12th. Your top story: voluntary evacuations in Germantown.
I'm Telly Hughes, in for Jessica Ty. New details into the shooting at the CDC.
Flood warning is extended until Friday morning for Waukesha and Ozaukee counties and until further notice for Milwaukee County. Partly sunny and warm today, eventually, and a high of 82. Clear tonight at a low of 65. A nice dry stretch begins on Wednesday. Should run through the weekend with high temperatures in the low to mid 80s. 73 and mostly cloudy in Milwaukee at 12:01. From the WTMJ breaking newsroom, officials in Germantown conducting voluntary evacuations of the Rivers Bend Circle subdivision due to ongoing flooding and power outages. Fire Chief John Delane says personnel are actively canvassing the area, attempting to contact all residents.
We will continue working on this until we're confident that everybody who wants to get out has gotten out. In addition, we have had a number of residents who were able to self-rescue via some higher land that are in the middle of the neighborhoods. And we did perform one rescue yesterday, earlier in the day, for an elderly person.
Subdivision is just west of 4145 near County Line Road, where freeway flooding has been ongoing since earlier this morning.
Significant flooding continues in downtown Wauwatosa. City Fire Chief Jim Case asks that all residents stay away from the water.
The responses we've had are everything, as I mentioned, from those critical incidents of people trapped with life-threatening emergencies. We've had later in the day on Sunday, we had an individual who decided to risk their lives and kayak down the river. Their kayak overturned and they ended up being washed into some debris, and they were holding on until our crews were able to get there and rescue them.
Chief Case says since the start of the flood, Wauwatosa Municipal Services responded to over 500 emergency responses.
New information about a deadly shooting at the CDC campus in Georgia last week.
GBI Director Chris Hosey says 5 different firearms were found at the scene.
The majority, I believe, of the shell casings recovered were from a long gun.
He says all the guns belong to the suspect's father. Nearly 500 rounds were fired.
Close to 200 rounds impacted 6 of the CDC buildings.
A police officer was shot and killed during the incident. The accused gunman, 30-year-old Patrick Joseph White, died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Stacey Lynn, CBS News.
Still no quorum as the Texas House of Representatives was called to order this morning, with redistricting still on the agenda.
As a few members milled around on the Texas House floor, Speaker Dustin Burrows picked up the gavel.
There being 95 members present, a quorum is not present.
With more than 4 dozen Democrats still out of the state to prevent a vote on a Republican-drawn congressional district map that favors GOP candidates, no action could be taken. Burrows will try again Friday. Jim Ryan, ABC News, Dallas.
President Trump extends a trade truce with China for another 90 days, delaying a showdown between the world's 2 biggest economies. Previous deadline was set to expire at midnight this morning. The new deadline will keep tariffs on Chinese imports at 30%, while China's duties on U.S. imports will remain at 10%, at least for now. Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. All the indices here in the green on the heels of the new agreement here between the U.S. and China, or I should say the delay of tariffs increasing. The Dow currently up about 450 points at 44,420. NASDAQ up about 270 points at 21,650. S&P up over 60 points at 64,34. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. It's financial planning at every level. For details, visit annexwealth.com.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 12:05.
News sponsored by Ellie Mental Health. Visit elliementalhealth.com.
The Mental Health Minute.
Hi, this is Kelly from Ellie Mental Health. This week, our hearts are with our neighbors in Wauwatosa. The floods have taken homes, memories, and a sense of safety. But the waters aren't the only thing that can leave a mark. Surviving a natural disaster can bring waves of stress, anxiety, and grief long after the cleanup is done. We want you to know that your feelings are valid, and you don't have to face them alone. If you or your kids are experiencing sleepless nights, overwhelming worry, or lingering shock, our licensed counselors are here to help. We accept most major insurance plans and have immediate openings, so you can begin care without a long wait. If you have been impacted by the floods, call us today. Healing starts with connection, and together we can rebuild hope.
This has been the Mental Health Minute. Get started on your mental health journey today at elliementalhealth.com.
Before you go looking for an area rug that you'll have to settle for because you think that the one you really want will be out of your budget, come to Design Exchange, where you'll find a formidable selection of Oriental, Persian, and other wool area rug choices at 25 to 70% off retail. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor on consignment at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
If you're trying to find really good, high-end, distinctive furniture, the kind they just don't make anymore, then come to Design Exchange. But you better get here quickly, because the best furniture we take in on consignment doesn't usually last long. It may be vintage, it may have once been out of your range, but now you'll find it's priced right. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value.
Design Exchange.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. The Brewers go for 11 wins in a row tonight in Game 2 of a 3-game series against the Pirates. Not going to be easy, however, as Pat Murphy's lineup goes against All-Star Paul Skeens.
We have to play up-tempo baseball and offensively, We have to do that, against whoever's pitching. It doesn't matter. We're not going to sit back and try to slug. That's not our game. And I hear that that's the only way to win in big situations, whatever. We have to do what we have to do, who we are.
Coverage of tonight's game begins following the 6 o'clock news on WTMJ. And Packers general manager Brian Gutekunst says Jordan Love is having a procedure done on his left thumb to repair a ligament issue. Gutekunst expects Love to return to practice next week and be fine for the start of the regular season. Packers travel to Indianapolis for joint practice with the Colts on Thursday. And in college football, Texas, Penn State, Ohio State, Clemson, and Georgia make up the preseason top 5, according to the Associated Press. Taking a look at your roads, a WTMJ Time Saver traffic update. Problem area continues here, 4145 northbound, about a mile beyond the ramp from County Line Road. The two right lanes are blocked due to flooding. This started about 6 o'clock this morning, but they're still seeing water impacting that area. So slow going through that stretch. It's about an 8-minute delay if you're making your way from Good Hope Road north to 167. Southbound delays in your usual spots here. 4145 southbound delays begin right around 175 in Mill Road and extend to roughly Hampton. Touching on the brakes here just before North Avenue as well. Otherwise, pretty standard travel times and mild volume throughout the system this afternoon.
Here's a look at your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Flood warnings are extended until Friday morning for Waukesha and Ozaki counties and until further notice for Milwaukee County. Today, partly sunny and warm with a high of 82. Tonight, things clear out with a low of 65. Wednesday and Thursday are carbon copy days, mostly sunny with highs of 80. On Friday, mostly sunny with a high of 84. Saturday, mostly sunny with a high of 86. In Milwaukee, it's 77 degrees. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 12:09.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzek, and in for Jessica Ty, it's Telly Hughes.
So a peek behind the curtain here. So I get these emails from the National Weather Service. Anytime there's anything sort of impactful or newsworthy, they send emails. So marine warning, thunderstorm warning, could be anything, really any sort of advisory. And the flood alert that we have in place here, it usually has an expiration to it for any county that issues such a thing. And it's usually from 9 o'clock this day until 8 o'clock the next day. And I got several alerts for Milwaukee County throughout the course of the morning. They kept extending it hour by hour by hour. And now it just says until further notice. Done sending the emails. It's a problem. We're dealing with it, but it's not going away anytime soon is what it tells me.
Yes, that's probably was the first thing they should have done because, like you said, extending it every hour, but things have just rapidly been changing by the hour. So, yeah, just say, look, until further notice, we'll let you know when it's off.
And lots to get to here on the program. Adam McCalvey will talk all things Brewers coming up at 12:35. Jordan Love having a procedure done. Don't worry, it's on his non-throwing hand. And also checking in with Paul Farrow, Waukesha County Executive. He's still got a situation where it's an emergency declaration in Waukesha County. Let's get to it here.
It's now at noon on Wisconsin's Midday News.
A state of emergency remains in place for Milwaukee and Waukesha counties as crews continue to evaluate roadways, monitor pedestrian bridges over waterways, and rescue residents from danger. Just getting a look at the outage map here from We Energies. About 3 hours ago, this was over 30,000 customers without power. Now it's down to 21,924.
With already that saturated ground, we knew that could possibly happen because the ground is so wet.
That's Amy Johns from We Energies. The bulk of the outages in Waukesha County, and that's where County Executive Paul Farrow puts the events of the weekend into perspective.
The dispatchers on an average weekend, 24-hour period of time, take about 400 calls. From 6 o'clock Saturday to about 6 o'clock Sunday, they took almost 1,900 calls and called back 550 people that were in the queue that they couldn't get through right away, so we called them back.
We'll get an update from Paul. He'll have the latest at 1:15. Meanwhile, residents waiting for crews to assist in assessing damage to flooded basements may want to tackle that project on their own, but Milwaukee Fire Chief Aaron Lipsky cautions.
We really want to caution people against going into any standing water. There's potential for electrocution. If you smell any gas, call 911. We'll get out there, we can secure the gas, because when that pilot light goes out, that gas can free flow. That creates a terribly explosive, hazardous environment for you.
There's also risk of, sewage backup here and bacteria floating around. So it's just not a safe situation altogether. I know you want to get the water out, you want to get the smell out and get cranking on it. You got to be really careful if you're wading into inch deep or more water in your basement.
Yes, Chief Lipsky really detailed yesterday about the dangers of that and gave some really good tips. And again, be very careful with that standing water. But Greg, another thing that is going to really turn up is the debate of should the Packers play their starters during preseason. And now that Packers general manager Brian Gutekunst says quarterback Jordan Love is having a procedure done on his left thumb to repair a ligament issue. Love hurt his thumb during Saturday's preseason loss to the Jets. He was seen with a wrap on his non-throwing hand during Monday's practice. Gutekunst expects Love to return to practice next week and be fine for the start of the regular season. He also expects key players to continue to see time during the preseason.
It's a tough balance, but at the same time, the goals we're trying to accomplish require work, right? And you got to play. I think every team's a little bit different in that regard, but I know this particular team, in my opinion, needs to play together.
The Packers face the Indianapolis Colts Saturday afternoon in preseason game number 2.
And the beat rolls on for the Milwaukee Brewers.
Nick Gonzalez, first pitch, swinging bunt, fielded by Miller, throws to first in time, and this ball game is over. A 1-2-3 ninth inning for Shelby Miller, and the Brewers win it 7-1. They have won their 10th game in a row, and they are 30 games above 500.
Pretty amazing stuff here. Lane Grindle with a call from last night's drama-free win over the Pirates. No team in baseball has 70 wins. The Brewers have 74. 6.5 games up on the Cubs for first place in the division. Isaac Collins, remember him? He won National League Player of the Week honors. A week that ended with Collins walking off the Mets with that home run on Sunday afternoon. He was NL Rookie of the Month in the month of July. Brewers' franchise record for wins in a regular season is 96. I'm not good at math, but I did the math on this one for you, Telly.
Mm-hmm.
Brewers are 74-44. They could go 22-18, darn near playing just average 500 baseball to finish the season and still achieve 96 wins. That's incredible.
That is. With so much season still left to go and 74 wins. And it was projected, what was the over-under? Wasn't it like 80?
About 84.5.
Yeah. So, I mean,
not that I had a wager on it. 84.5 from our friends at Potawatomi.
Yeah, so this is incredible stuff. And if you're one of those fans just thinking, oh, another great season and then some postseason mishaps, at some point, it has to change. And why not in a season where you've put up some already historic winning streaks?
Pretty amazing stuff. A challenging opportunity tonight. The Brewers take on Paul Skeens, the All-Stars. About as good as it gets here in Major League Baseball. They have beaten them before, though. It's game 2 of a 3-game series against the Pirates. Coming up next, we go to Washington, D.C. ABC's Stephen Portnoy is on the ground, and so are 800 members of the National Guard. We'll get the latest from Stephen after this.
It's Gina Della. You've heard me define what makes Pella Windows and Doors different. Let me introduce you to the woman behind the billboards, commercials, and share my extraordinary journey of resilience, reinvention, and shattering glass ceilings every Saturday morning at 6:30 on 620 WTMJ and anywhere you stream podcasts for What's the Difference with Gina Della to discuss business coaching across all industries, featuring successful executives, entrepreneurs, and mentors along the way. This is a story you won't want to miss.
Bill Berrien is a former Navy SEAL, a businessman, and he's running for governor.
I'm Bill Berrien. While the globalists and corrupt politicians shipped our jobs to China, I went all in on Wisconsin. At my manufacturing business, we hire American, build American, and take the fight to China. I'm an outsider and a businessman who puts America first, just like President Trump. Together, we will make Wisconsin manufacturing great again.
Bill Berrien for governor, paid for by Bill for Wisconsin.
Sweet Talks is a woman-owned medical spa in Menominee Falls, fostering self-love and confidence. Our expert registered nurse injectors go beyond injectables, offering lasers, medical weight loss, hormone therapy, and more. Join thousands of satisfied patients at sweettalks.com.
Dr. Aaron Holtebeck and his team at Holtebeck Eye Center make vision care a top priority. They are your premium provider for eye care and corrective eye surgeries. Dr. Holtebeck has been helping local patients with their eye care needs for over 20 years. Dr. Nausheen Abbas joined the Holtebeck Eye Center team last September, and her practice philosophy is to provide patient-centered medicine by giving all options. Located in Brookfield near the corner of Calhoun and Capitol. Learn more about their services at holtebeck.com.
A startling scene in the nation's capital where President Trump has ordered the deployment of 800 National Guard troops to the nation's capital and placed the city's police department under federal control. Why?
Our capital city has been overtaken by violent gangs and bloodthirsty criminals, roving mobs of wild youth, drugged-out maniacs and homeless people, and we're not going to let it happen anymore. We're not going to take it.
Now, the president describing the situation in Washington, D.C. as a crime emergency. However, crime statistics in the city show that violent crime is significantly decreased and hit a 30-year low in 2024. We welcome in ABC's Stephen Portnoy. Stephen, the scenes that we have seen on TV make it look like there is somebody in fatigues lined up every 4 feet on the streets in Washington, D.C. What is the truth here? What's actually happening?
Well, look, I mean, this is a large city. There, and whatever the lens of a single camera can capture will demonstrate a picture that makes it seem as though that's the scene across the city. It's not so. Look, this is a city that houses incredibly secure federal facilities that are guarded 24 hours a day, 365 days a year by a raft of federal law enforcement and local police. And yes, you're also seeing it supplemented by 800 National Guardsmen who will work in shifts, a few hundred at a time. And yesterday, the president took the extraordinary and unprecedented step of invoking his right to take control of the D.C. Police Department. That is an authority that goes back to the Home Rule Act of 1973 that no president has invoked. The law allows for the president to assert that there is an emergency and that he needs control of the D.C. police to serve federal purposes. It's not to last more than 30 days unless Congress passes a bill that extends the emergency. I asked the U.S. Attorney for Washington, D.C., Jeanine Pirro, yesterday whether we're going to notice the difference, because essentially it's an administrative change with the D.C. police chief reporting up through the mayor to a new interim federal commissioner. His name is Terry Cole, he's the DEA administrator, and the whole idea here is that there's going to be federal control of the D.C. police. The D.C. Police Union came out yesterday in favor of this, saying that the department is taxed, understaffed, and in support of the same thing Jeanine Pirro is calling for, which is a change in the laws locally that allow for certain criminal offenses to be sealed on the record, and she wants an end to cashless bail, among other things. So that is why the union supports it. Overall, however, the union says that this needs to be temporary, and under the law, it is supposed to be temporary.
So what is it that congressional Democratic lawmakers don't like about this situation? Does it feel like an emergency to them? Apparently not.
Well, not only is it not borne out in the statistics, but there's just the general notion that this is a measure that takes away the autonomy of the city's elected leaders and local control. There are 700,000 people who live and work live in Washington, D.C., and who elected the mayor and the council. And this idea that, yes, the Constitution, Article 1, gives the Congress exclusive jurisdiction over the city that houses the federal government. Nevertheless, the idea was that Congress gave to the residents of the city control. And the argument that the president's making, that there's an emergency underway now, relative to what we've seen in years past. I mean, you could look at the 1980s and early 90s and say that the situation in this city during the Reagan era, the Bush 41 and 43 era, the Clinton era was far worse than it is right now. The president is using anecdotal evidence and information that he has, his own observations to say that the city is infested with crime and bedlam and squalor, and he says it's time to clean it up. Well, he's invoking his authority to see what he can do. But the idea that it's worse than it's ever been, well, that's just not borne out by the statistics or the factual reality.
So this could last for up to 30 days. So then what? What happens after 30 days?
Well, the emergency under law is supposed to end, and in theory, the federal control of the police department is supposed to end. Now, that's just the police. He can keep the National Guard deployed for as long as he likes.
Stephen, you are very familiar with this area. You work there every day. On an emergency scale from 1 to 10, where does Washington, D.C. fit?
Well, I mean, look, are there violent incidents in any major city? Yes, of course. There's a reason we have police. It's to protect us from ourselves as humans. But the idea that this is the worst it's ever been, that's not the case. I mean, any violent crime is a terrible thing. And we all know victims of violent crime in major cities, and we wish it weren't so. Is it a good and healthy thing to have more police on the streets so it prevents it? Yes. But the idea that the president's taking an extraordinary step gives a lot of people pause because of what it symbolizes, what it indicates. And that's the idea that some sort of emergency, extraordinary thing is underway, and that we need police to intimidate people, because that's essentially what they're saying.
ABC's Stephen Portnoy reporting from the nation's capital. Stephen, always great to check in. Thank you so much.
You bet.
Visit family-owned Ken Michaels Furniture and our in-store design centers, where you'll still find beautiful, luxurious, heirloom-quality American-made furniture. Right now, save 30 to 35% store-wide and take advantage of our complimentary design services. Whether you're moving, renovating, or updating, our designers will help your vision become a reality. Visit Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield on Capitol Drive and in Greenfield on Highway 100 to save 30 to 35% store-wide today. Sleep better and save more with mattresses from Milwaukee Mattress and Ken Michaels Furniture. Handcrafted in our Milwaukee factory, our mattresses utilize natural materials like cotton cushioning, which dissipates body heat, Joma wool quilts for warm wintry nights and cool summer evenings, and natural latex providing superior conformability and pressure relief for aching joints. Stop in today at any Ken Michaels Furniture store and save up to 50% compared to national brands.
It's Debbie Lazaga for Comfort Awnings. This summer, I'm getting relief from the hot sun whenever I need it with my motorized retractable awning from Comfort Awnings. Sensors are also available that detect strong winds and rain to extend or retract your awning. They even protect against UV radiation so you can safely enjoy the outdoors all summer long. Family owned and located in Burlington, Comfort Awnings expertly installs custom awnings that fit your home and style. Right now, you can receive $200 off all awnings and screens. Call 414-AWNINGS or visit comfortawnings.com.
Bank 5-9 has a mission to make lives better. They make it a priority to give back to their customers, communities, and their employees. In fact, Bank 5-9 was just honored again by the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel as a top workplace. That makes 16 years in a row. Want to learn more about working with the great people at Bank 5-9? Visit bank59.com/careers. Equal Opportunity Employer, member FDIC.
Not sure how up-to-date, Telly, you are on the world of social media teases, right? When something big's going to happen, what does the star or celebrity do? They tease a little something on social media, and you're supposed to get excited, and then you wait for the official announcement.
Yeah, that usually misses me.
Okay, yeah, me too a little bit. But I did catch this one. There's a new album coming out from Taylor Swift.
The pop star confirmed her 12th studio album, The Life of a Showgirl, in a teaser for her upcoming appearance on her boyfriend Travis Kelce's podcast, New Heights. Swifties had been speculating about it all day, starting with an earlier post from the New Heights podcast that teased ahead to a very special episode with a very special guest.
You cannot even tell me that this is not Taylor's silhouette.
Eagle-eyed fans spotted some striking similarities, hinting at what was to come.
So there you go. You've got Taylor Swift back at it again. Are you interested?
Yeah, it's football season, man. So if you're ready or interested or not, you're about to get a large dose of what's her name again? No, Taylor Swift.
I have a 10-year-old and an 8-year-old, and they believe in Taylor Swift. They believe in the hype. They believe in the phenomenon. They are interested. They like her songs, along with Benson Boone. Those seem to be kind of the clubhouse leaders for us in the household. Now, my wife, kind of a classic country music fan. She doesn't like how country music has turned into more pop music and really anti-original country. So she was kind of a detractor to Taylor Swift, but I can feel my wife getting lured back in.
Oh, there's a shift coming, is what you're saying.
Because Taylor doesn't even pretend to be country anymore. Like, she's not a country music artist like it started back when she was, 16 or whatever.
Yeah, no, very true. I mean, I never really associated her music with being a country artist at all. It seems like she's always had kind of the pop culture thing going on. So, hey, you're at that age, man.
I know.
I mean, well, your kids are at that age that you got to deal with these things.
Well, Taylor is a force, and I can appreciate that. And she's going to have a new album dropping before too long. 12:27 news coming up. And now about your house. It's where you live, but do you also live in your yard? My friends at Outdoor Living Unlimited help people extend their home, living beyond the wall. Your imagination may be somewhat limited, so let's call on Eric Brown, president of Outdoor Living Unlimited, to expand upon it.
I'm confident that 90% of the listeners can look outside their home and dream of a better, nicer, way more outstanding backyard. If you're one of the many, you'll need to call Outdoor Living Unlimited. Outdoor Living Unlimited's expert team can design a beautiful, functional, usable backyard space. Then our team can build it. You dream it, we build it. New deck, outdoor kitchen, pavers, retaining walls, screen room. How about a must-see automated pergola that doubles as a screen room? Picture this, a pergola that allows the sunlight through the slats, but with the press of a button, those slats close and now you have protection. Another press of the button and the screens roll down. There's your screen room. The ideas are endless. We recently built a brand new deck with a screen room pergola on top and stairs that lead to a paver oasis complete with a fire pit and seat walls. Amazing. New deck, outdoor kitchen, screen room, automated pergola. Let Outdoor Living Unlimited design and build the amazing backyard. Find us at OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
See all the cool things that Outdoor Living Unlimited can do for your yard on their Instagram page, or visit their unique outside-in showroom in Waukesha. And if you're looking outside of your home, dreaming of a more beautiful and functional, usable backyard, well, Outdoor Living Unlimited can design and build you an amazing showstopper of a deck, patio, complete with pergola and fire pit, just like they did for us. With expert care, Outdoor Living Unlimited installed a beautiful paver patio, complete with land and stone retaining wall, all sorts of space, room for a built-in kitchen, and complete with a gas fire pit. It's where we spend all of our time. Visit OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
If you want thick, healthy, gorgeous hair, then you need Hair Volume from New Nordic. Available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
It's 12:30. I'm Greg Matzek. This is Wisconsin's Midday News. Your top story: outages continue across southeast Wisconsin.
I'm Telly Hughes, in for Jessica Ty, removed from office over embezzlement.
Flood warnings extended until Friday morning for Waukesha and Ozaukee counties and until further notice for Milwaukee County.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. National Guard troops already arriving at an armory near the nation's capital after President Trump announced plans to take control of Washington, D.C.'s police department. As many as 800 troops are expected to be deployed to help assist local law enforcement. The Metropolitan Police Chief, along with D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser, says their goal is to help collaborate with the federal government.
The executive order is pretty clear, and so is the law. The president has the authority by virtue of the statute to request services. Our organizational chart, how we do business, how we fund the police, how we make changes, none of that has changed.
Authorities in Georgia have identified the gunman in last week's shooting at CDC headquarters. Police say Patrick Joseph White left documents behind in his home indicating he had a grudge over COVID-19 vaccines. A police officer died in the incident. Authorities say White killed himself. And residents on both West and East Coast dealing with extreme heat today. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 12:31.
20,863 customers remain without power following this morning's round of rain. Amy Johns with We Energy says high winds from the storms knocked down trees, and that caused the issues.
With already that saturated ground, we knew that could possibly happen because the ground is so wet.
Now, the bulk of the latest outages are focused in Waukesha County, with thousands also in the dark in Milwaukee and Jefferson counties.
Storm recovery efforts continue across southeast Wisconsin after historic rainfall caused severe flooding over the weekend.
Governor Tony Evers issued a state of emergency Monday while touring storm damage in Wauwatosa. Tosa Mayor Dennis McBride is asking people to stay away from the downtown area while recovery efforts are underway.
If you're thinking of going down there, please don't go down there. It won't help our public works people. It won't help our police and fire people.
Meanwhile, Milwaukee County is encouraging residents to call 211 to report any property damage.
We want to collect all the damage information with the help of the governor's office and present it to FEMA to see if we can get some emergency relief.
Neil Doyle, WTMJ News.
Removing the city clerk in Glendale over embezzlement allegations. Glendale Common Council voting unanimously to remove Megan Hummitz during a special meeting Tuesday. The Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel reports Hummitz is alleged to have spent over $10,000 on unapproved purchases over 8 months, beginning in October of 2024. Hummitz also allegedly failed to report purchase receipts, violating city code.
A 48-year-old man from Appleton is dead after drowning in Lake Michigan. NBC 26 reports the Milwaukee Police Department's Harbor Patrol found a man floating face down in the water while on active boat patrol just before 10:30 Sunday morning. A report from the Milwaukee County Medical Examiner's Office indicates the cause of death to be accidental. An investigation is ongoing.
A story correction. Here on WTMJ, we erroneously aired a story yesterday regarding a letter written by Pope Leo XIV in response to survivors of clergy abuse. The story said this was in response to survivors of clergy abuse in the Archdiocese of Milwaukee. And this was not correct. We apologize for any confusion.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 12:33.
John Mercure here for Serta Pro Painters. They painted the outside of our house. It was fantastic. I've got a big deck. They really had to navigate on 2 levels. The guys took their time. They paid attention to detail. They did it right around the deck. My whole house looks fantastic. Trim and siding. It's great. It's Serta Pro Painters. Schedule fills up fast, so now's the time to plan your project. Schedule your free estimate at CertaPro.com. That's Serta with a C for your home or business. Each Serta Pro Painters business is independently owned and operated. They are the best. They're Serta Pro Painters.
Don't think twice. Call Geis.
A great way to add value and curb appeal to your home is with a new LiftMaster or CHI maintenance-free garage door. Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzek. A study by Remodelers Magazine reports that the average return on investment is an amazing 82%. Garage doors rank first among all home improvement projects. To see Geis's huge selection of doors, visit their showroom in Brookfield, or you can also visit their online showroom at geisdoors.com. Geis has everything from alley doors to custom wood designer doors and everything in between. Remember, for all your garage door needs, you call Geis at 262-784-4250. That number again, 262-784-4250. It's Geis. Visit them online at geisdoors.com.
Don't think twice. Call Geis.
A buck doesn't buy much unless you're spending it at Griffin. For just $1 over cost, you can buy brand new tires from us. This is Jim Griffin. Any major brand, $1 over our cost with free tire repair and lifetime rotation. We'll even show you the invoice to prove it. Our only requirements, we put them on for you. Buy one or the whole set. The dollar deal from Griffin. Milwaukee, Waukesha, Fort Atkinson, and Jefferson. Griffin. The buck stops here. The deals on tires don't. That's Griffin.
Not combinable with other tire offers.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports desk. The Brewers go for 11 wins in a row tonight in Game 2 of a 3-game series against the Pirates. Pirates All-Star Paul Skeens on the mound tonight. Pat Murphy will put together a lineup to combat it.
We have to play up-tempo baseball and offensively, We have to do that, against whoever's pitching. It doesn't matter. We're not going to sit back and try to slug. That's not our game. And I hear that that's the only way to win in big situations, whatever. We have to do what we have to do, who we are.
Coverage of tonight's game begins following the 6 o'clock news on WTMJ. Packers GM Brian Gutekunst says Jordan Love having a procedure done on his left thumb to repair a ligament issue. That's his non-throwing hand. Gutekunst expects Love to return to practice sometime next week. He should be fine for the start of the regular season. Packers travel to Indianapolis for joint practices with the Colts on Thursday. Preseason game number 2 scheduled for Saturday afternoon. And in college football, Texas, Penn State, Ohio State, Clemson, and Georgia make up the preseason top 5, according to the Associated Press. Check your roads here. WTMJ Time Saver Traffic Update. 4145 southbound. And starting to get into the thick of it here now with an 8-minute delay if you're making your way from 175 in Mill Road roughly down past Hampton Avenue. Things should lighten up by the time you get to North Avenue. Northbound delays on 4145 begin around Watertown Plank and should be freed up back to normal freeway speeds once you get past North Avenue. Further north on 4145, flooding on the roadways here, about a half a mile or so north of the ramp at County Line Road. So you're looking at County Line Road just north of Menominee Falls as you're approaching 167. 2 lanes are blocked due to flooding. This has been an issue since about 6 o'clock this morning. So you got about an 8-minute delay making your way from Good Hope Road up to 167.
Here is the WTMJ 5-day forecast. Flood warnings are extended until Friday morning for both Waukesha and Ozaukee counties and until further notice for Milwaukee County. Today, partly sunny and warm with a high of 82. Tonight, clear with a low of 65. Wednesday and Thursday will be on repeat. Both Wednesday and Thursday will be mostly sunny with highs of 80. Friday, mostly sunny with a high of 84. And Saturday, mostly sunny with a high of 86. In Milwaukee, it's 77 degrees. Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 12:38.
Well, the rain will won't prevent the Brewers from playing. It could be cloudy with a chance of meatballs, and the game would still go on.
The Brewers just show up, they beat you, they yawn, and they get ready for another one tomorrow.
That's kind of how it feels, right? Brewers baseball here, riding a 10-game winning streak into tonight's game against Paul Skeens and the Pirates. If that winning streak will be extended to 11 games, Brewers are definitely going to earn it. But regardless of the streak and free burgers, no better team in baseball right now than the 74-win Milwaukee Brewers. No better person covering the Brewers for Brewers.com. It's our friend Adam McCalvey. Hi, Adam.
Hello, guys. Telly, this is just like your tenure where then all they do is win.
Something like that, yeah.
So, yes.
The only difference is Telly, I was thinking about Telly's run as the Brewers sideline reporter. Telly, you had Ken Maka and Ron Renicky.
I sure did.
We're having a little bit more fun now.
Yeah, I would think so. And
the Murph sessions yesterday, just to give you people a feel for how these Murph sessions go, we were talking about something completely different, and he decided impromptu to go around the room, and it's a full room, and everybody had to say something they've never done that would surprise everyone else.
What'd you go with?
So we all learned a little bit about each other.
Wow.
Oh, what did you go with?
That I've never driven stick shift.
Oh, is that right?
Wow. Yeah, if you were in a bad situation and you need me to get you to the hospital and you have a manual transmission car, I'm sorry, rest in peace.
I would argue that 95% of vehicles made today in the United States or imported to the United States are manual, or that just sort of, it's not stick shift, but you can kind of shift gears, if you know what I'm saying. Like, yeah. how many cars on the road right now are still stick shift?
Telly's Ferrari is still.
Well,
that's in the shop, though.
Yeah, that's been on the skids for a little while.
Isn't this great? In August, we can make fun of Ferraris and stick shift vehicles because the Brewers are so dominant right now. I did the math on this, Adam, which is always kind of a scary thing for me to do, but the Brewers can play pretty close to 500 baseball the rest of the way and still achieve their franchise record win total of 96.
Well, you do get yourself in trouble when you do that. We've talked about that so often. And look, I mean, last night, if you listen to Pat Murphy's post game, our friend Todd Rosiak asked him about this 10-game winning streak and being the first team since 2017 to have multiple double-digit win streaks in the same season. It's surely a news story for all of us. Pat Murphy wanted to talk about Paul Skeens today. So they are trying really hard to just kind of focus on the day at hand. That's what's made them good. It's what's made them so tough to knock out. I mean, the Mets game down 5-0, coming off 9 wins in a row, kind of a weird day with the flooding and people, it's difficult to get to the ballpark that day for the players, just as it was for the fans. And it was the total day to just roll over and take a loss. And they win. They've done that by just kind of focusing on the pitch at hand, the at-bat at hand. There's a big mural as you walk down one hallway and take a left turn to go out to the field from the clubhouse that says, "Win tonight." That's kind of the Murph mantra. And that's what they've done, and that's why they've been good.
Adam, you've been around the team for quite a while, and you know and have seen all type of personalities and characteristics and traits that make up a clubhouse. And you also have a good idea of what baseball fans and the media is thinking of the Brewers outside of the state of Wisconsin. And do you feel like it's finally been a shift from this is just a team that's hot and young and don't know what they're doing to a team that's actually really, really good?
Well, that's so interesting the way you put that, Telly, because to me, all of those things are true, and they can be true at the same time. Mm-hmm. We've talked with Murph a little bit about kind of, not ignorance isn't the right word, but basically ignorance is bliss, right? That there's something about a team that doesn't know they're not supposed to be this good that can make them really dangerous. And look, I was thinking last night, and I wrote this in my game story, with the Pirates in town, it made me think about where this all started. And it was May 25th. It was a Sunday getaway in Pittsburgh. And they were down 2 runs. They were 4 outs away from losing again. They'd had 2 team meetings already in San Francisco and Cleveland where things were going really bad. It was when Murph was talking about where's our edge. You know, we had such an edge last year. Where did it go? Things were not good. And Caleb Durbin in an 0-2 count gets a 2-run hit, base hit, and then Bryce Trang puts the Brewers ahead, and they win that game. And it was the first time they'd come back from multiple runs down to win any game, and it was 2 months into the season. They'd shown zero fight, zero ability to come back and win a game when they trailed. And since then, that's all they've done. They just had to show themselves they could do it. And I think when you're a young team, that's why I always think there's so much to early season comebacks and early season moments, because it's almost like this new group each year, the new soup, as the former manager always used to say, you know, you have to show you can do it and prove to yourselves that you're capable of winning those games. And that's what they did. And it was such a turning point. And I asked Caleb Durbin about it last night, and he remembers that at bat really clearly, because the Pirates pitcher went to a rival high school from his same area in Northern Illinois. So he has like a real clear memory of that moment. And it's the kind of the one thing, the one little thing that seemed to turn this whole thing around. Now, you can point to like 15 other things that have happened to turn things in the right direction too, but that one really stood out to me last night with the Pirates in town.
It's starting to get talked about a little bit here, Adam. This idea and thought that there is some sort of cosmic nature, somebody watching over this Brewers team with a smile on his face, maybe making a home run call from where he sits above everybody in heaven, that Bob Uecker is somehow smiling and pulling some magical strings here for this Brewers team. Is Uke's legacy, is it even talked about at this stage of the game? Obviously is so fondly remembered nationwide, within Brewers Nation, the clubhouse. Everybody loves Uke, right? Everybody wanted to win for Bob. Bob wanted the team to win, too, as much as anybody. But is there any discussion of that? Does that even happen? Does it come up in the locker room and clubhouse?
Well, I'm not sure. I know it comes up in the press box. And, you know, look, everyone can have their own beliefs about all those things. And I don't want to take anything away from the players, because the players deserve all the credit for what they've done, playing clean baseball games. Last night they made an error for the first time in 12 games. They're really tough outs. They're very gritty. They're very pesky. Connor Dawson, the hitting coach, says, we want to make other teams play the game and make them go through hell. And that's what they're doing. So all credit to the players. But I'll just tell you, and I'm not just saying this, this isn't just one of those things that you say. We talk about Bob Uecker every day. There's something that happens that he comes up, whether it's in the clubhouse, whether it's with Murph, whether it's up there having dinner with the radio guys and thinking about whatever's going on that day. And I promise you, that's not just a saying. That is something that happens literally every day. And sometimes games happen and you think to yourself, man, Uke would have loved that game. And the one that really stands out to me is the first game against the Mets, because of the way last year ended, Uke's final game. Pete Alonso hits that homer, and I mean, we've all heard the call, and it cuts your guts out. You know, it breaks my heart even just thinking about it right now. Hearing you talk about how that one stung so bad, and to sweep the Mets and write a different story this season is one of the highlights of the year so far for me, and the kind of magical nature. And look, there was the sign in the stands last night behind the dugout. I wish I would have seen it during the game, because I would have found the guy. If you're out there and you've got pictures of that game, I'd love to hear from you, because the Uecker Magic sign was really cool, and I didn't see it until too late last night. And I think everybody's thinking about it, and we're all thinking about Uke. And if that is a part of this, and you believe that that's his hand is involved here, I think that's great. And I hope it is.
Adam, it's always great to catch up with you, because you're someone that has been around the team for so long, and you know the ins and outs and how these seasons go. And every season takes on a different theme, and every successful team has something that makes that group special. I know when I was around and when it was the Prince and Ricky and JJ and Ryan Braun era, what made that group so special was because they all came up together. And yep. I need to, and with this group, what makes this group this season so special?
Well, Trevor McGill will be mad, because he was giving me a hard time last night that it's getting overplayed. But this power of friendship thing that they're doing, I wrote about this the other day. Trevor McGill said that over the All-Star break to a reporter and trying to explain the Brewers' completely surprising success when they don't have the star players. ESPN did a ranking of the top 50 players in baseball. There's no Brewers on the list. And they have the best record in baseball by far. It is really hard to explain what they've done, but the way you explain it is that they are a team. And whether you want to say power of friendship or, undaunted was a thing, they've done the Average Joe's thing from Dodgeball, the movie. They've had all these kind of different ways to describe it, but really what it comes down to is being a team. And they do not pop a lot of home runs. They do not win a lot of games with 3-run homers. They win games by doing what they did after the homers yesterday, which is get on base, run. Threat of run affecting the pitcher is a huge underrated part of this team. Taking advantage of errors. When the other team makes a mistake, they've taken advantage for weeks. It's all the little things that a team does. And they are the best example I can remember of all the clubs I've covered, because you're mentioning, Telly, those stars kind of led the way for many, many years.
Yes.
This team doesn't have that. This is a team that more than any other that I've seen they are better than the collection of their parts. Now, how do I say that? Greg, help me. You're smart. The sum is better than the collection of their parts.
I'd go ahead and say they have World Series depth.
Like, Murph keeps saying this. It's August 10th. Let's not get too far ahead. There surely is a stretch where they lose 7-10 the rest of the way. That's just baseball. So I think he is trying to pump the brakes on some of the thinking too far ahead, and he's trying to focus on look, there's 44 games left, I think now. Let's make something special of these 44 games. Let's make something special of the next week, which is going to be huge, going to Cincinnati and then Wrigley Field. Let's just kind of focus on the moment and not think about the World Series, because this game, man, there's no guarantee having the best record in baseball on today wins you anything down the road. And I think even the young guys, they all know that. So they're not thinking like that. They're not thinking about the past. They really have focused on, what are we doing today? And today's Paul Skeens, which is really, really tough. And they did a great job against them in Milwaukee last time. But there's no guarantee that gets you anything tonight, because he is one of the best pitchers in the sport.
Going to go ahead and believe that the Brewers are the only contending team to have traded 2 of their starters from the start of the year. Their starting rotation. You just don't do that, right? You don't trade starting pitchers, but the Brewers can, because they have a surplus. They've got guys who are healthy, guys coming up from the minors. It's been an unbelievable thing to watch. Brewers pitching and hitting, timeliness, clutch. All the components are there, looking for win number 11 tonight. Adam McCalvey will be there. Not sure about the autograph signing, but if you see him, give him a high five and a hug, and teach him how to drive a stick shift vehicle. We appreciate it, Adam. It's almost pumpkin spice season. I know you get excited about that as well.
Oh, get out of here. I was at the grocery store this morning, and there's pumpkin spice. No, stop.
Embrace it, Adam. October's almost here. Appreciate it, pal. Thank you.
No, don't look too far ahead, everybody. Just enjoy today.
12:52 on WTMJ. Brewers baseball following the 6 o'clock news tonight.
For over a century, local radio has evolved with the needs of the community. From politics to pop culture, we keep you informed, bringing you the most relevant news, online, on air, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
Hey, Brewers fans, if you are headed to the game and you want a free ride, well, you can do it. Hit up Potawatomi Sportsbook before any home game, and they'll get you to the game. Hit 2 balls with 1 bet. Hitch a ride only on Potawatomi's Game Day Shuttle. Here's what you do. Head to the Sportsbook, make any sort of purchase. Buy some food, buy a drink, whatever, soda, you name it, or make a same-day sports bet, and you'll get a wristband and a seat on the Potawatomi Shuttle. We'll take you right where you need to go at the stadium. Shuttles begin about an hour before first pitch. Then after the game, return shuttles, well, those run nonstop for an hour. So it'll get you back to Potawatomi, where your journey began. For more information, visit Potawatomi.com. Hope to see you at the Sportsbook sometime soon. Bet above the rest at Potawatomi.
When you're due for tire service, visit richlawns.com for the location nearest you.
We'll give you a free flat tire repair on every tire we install. No questions asked. I'm Brett Matchke with Rich Lawns. You're due for service.
Rich Lawns.
Find it at the showroom. Take it home to make sure it's right. Vince Vitrano for Hunt's Flooring in Greenfield. Not some chain or corporate showroom. Hunt's is a family-run business specializing in beautiful, durable flooring from luxury vinyl to cozy carpet and timeless hardwoods. Find a great deal. Take the samples home and take your time. No high-pressure sales. The Hunt's team is patient, helpful, and ready to go when you're ready with your project. Visit Hunt's Flooring on Highway 100 or get started now at huntsflooring.com.
Networks, streaming services, retail chains, and tech giants are all adding plus to their names. But where did the concept originate? We may be biased, but we think these big wigs found their inspiration for plus at Hasseless Mattress. Hasseless showrooms are employee-free. Give your mattress a try with no pushy sales guy. Plus, our 35 beds from the top 5 brands start at $393. Plus, unbeatable prices on Tempur-Pedic. Plus, free next day delivery and setup. Plus, free haul away and disposal of your old mattress. Plus, 60-month interest-free financing on select Tempur-Pedic with approved credit. Plus, a $300 MasterCard gift card with your Tempur-Pedic mattress. Plus, a ruggedly handsome spokesman with a smooth radio voice. Get all this, plus a whole lot more when you shop at Hasseless Mattress. Or maybe we should change our name to Hasseless Plus. Nah. Open 9 to 9. Find an employee-free showroom near you or shop online at Hasseless.com.
At Dillon's, they don't overcomplicate it. They start with their award-winning small batch gin to create craft cocktails that are balanced, crisp, and never too sweet. Like strawberry rhubarb with a zest of lime, or tangerine, lemon, and just a hint of mint. Elevated flavor combinations stand out and keep things refreshing. For those seeking a better cocktail experience, enjoy it straight from the can or pour it over ice. Dillon's Cocktails, made the right way. Please enjoy responsibly.
Well, if you missed any of our conversation with Brewers.com writer Adam McCalvey, or really any interview over the past week or so, check out our Wisconsin's Midday News podcast page. It's built by Siding Unlimited. Truly siding and a whole lot more. Wherever you get your podcasts, you can find us. You've got hour by hour, interview by interview, segment by segment, all posted there. Gina does a great job. In fact, I'd say about 95%. Do you have Adam up yet, Gina? This is how fast she works. Adam is going to be up here in the next minute. In a minute, we'll have the entire 1 o'clock hour podcasted for you. Wherever you get your podcasts, find Wisconsin's Midday News. Subscribe. It's built by Siding Unlimited. News coming up.
Hey, boaters!
Some call them oddball parts, but we call them a huge part of our inventory. Dave Doro here from Kendor Marine. With thousands of boat parts and supplies stacked right here in our store, you won't have to look elsewhere. If you need it, chances are we got it, along with expert advice to get your job done right. Hey, boaters in the know exactly where to go. Kendor Marine, 57th and Ryan Road in Franklin.
Hey, boaters! Cruise to Kendor Marine. We got everything you need but the water.
KendorMarine.com.
Hey, boaters!
It's a boater's do-it-yourselfer's dream store. Kendor Marine stocks thousands of boat parts and supplies. Just about everything you'd ever need to keep your boat up and running. Whether it's common or something you think might be discontinued, you can bet on us having it. So don't be surprised when we have just what you need. I'm Dave Doro, and boaters in the know exactly where to go. Kendor Marine, 57th and Ryan Road in Franklin.
Hey, boaters! Cruise to Kendor Marine. We got everything you need but the water.
KendorMarine.com.
Bill Berrien is a former Navy SEAL, a businessman, and he's running for governor.
I'm Bill Berrien. While the globalists and corrupt politicians shipped our jobs to China, I went all in on Wisconsin. At my manufacturing business, we hire American, build American, and take the fight to China. I'm an outsider and a businessman who puts America first, just like President Trump. Together, we will make Wisconsin manufacturing great again.
Bill Berrien for governor, paid for by Bill for Wisconsin.
Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix-It Show with David Nason, featuring this week's guest, Siding Unlimited. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. At 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact Annex Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at annexwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ. WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Welcome to The Knowledge Brokers, a weekly feature covering the dynamics of the insurance market, how it affects Wisconsin businesses and residents. It's sponsored by the original Knowledge Broker, R&R Insurance. And joining me today is Jeff Salazinski, Executive Vice President of Insurance Operations. Jeff, we've talked about the consequences of buying insurance on price alone and the risks that come with that. Tell us what else is important here.
Sure, Vince. Great to be here again. If you really want protection for your business or your personal assets like your home or auto, it's critical you're working with an insurance professional who takes time to explain the details. As we've discussed, the consequences on the downside are severe. Insurance policies have coverage limits and sublimits. You need to understand if those limits are adequate. Insurance policies do not cover every conceivable loss. You need to discuss the exclusions with your agent. Vince, insurance policies are contracts. They can be complex, but they don't have to be. We address these issues every day with our clients.
So what should folks listening take away? What's really important?
Vince, it's important you work with a partner that understands insurance coverage in depth and can market your business to ensure you're getting high-quality coverage and a competitive price as well. You can have both.
So why should a business or family work with R&R Insurance?
At R&R, we understand insurance coverage and dynamic market conditions. We understand how to present your account to an underwriter in the most favorable light. And at R&R Insurance, we've been helping clients for almost 50 years. If you're looking for a better insurance purchasing experience, you should sit down and talk to us. At R&R Insurance, we know business insurance.
That's Jeff from R&R Insurance. Thanks for the great info, Jeff.
The place you want to go, Lynch McWanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
Think you've got more heat in your cannon? Well, last time told a different tale.
Swing and a miss. He gassed them up. He blew them away. 102 miles an hour.
It's the Brewers and Pirates in Milwaukee. Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts tonight at 6:05 on the home of the Brewers. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 101. I'm Greg Matzek. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Tuesday, August 12th. Your top story, another state of emergency over flooding.
I'm Telly Hughes, in for Jessica Ty. The target shooting suspect identified.
Flood warnings extended until Friday morning for Waukesha and Ozaukee counties and until further notice for Milwaukee County. Sun should make itself known later today. Partly sunny and warm, a high of 82. Clear tonight, a low of 65. 74 and mostly cloudy in Milwaukee at 102. From the WTMJ Breaking Newsroom, parts of Waukesha County hit hardest after torrential rainfall caused severe flooding over the weekend. County Executive Paul Farrow says a state of emergency issued and continues as the cleanup efforts are ongoing.
The dispatchers on an average weekend, 24-hour period of time, take about 400 calls. From 6 o'clock Saturday to about 6 o'clock Sunday, they took almost 1,900 calls and called back 550 people that were in the queue that they couldn't get through right away, so we called them back.
Yeah, a few thousand homes across southeastern Wisconsin still without power as of this afternoon. That number down to 20,574, according to We Energies. Paul Farrow joins us live about 1:15 with the latest.
Cleanup efforts continue in Wauwatosa after a weekend of intense rains and severe flooding.
City Fire Chief Jim Case says the fire department has been working around the clock since Saturday evening to help residents.
Through those calls, there were numerous requests for assistance from people trapped in vehicles in rising waters to things such as my basement is flooding and the water's coming up quick. I need help getting out of my house.
Chief Case says the city is still assessing damage before making any report to state officials.
We've started damage assessment process. This data gets reported up to the county, who then can report it to the state to get a better picture of the entire region and what that damage level has been.
Sean Brenda, WTMJ News.
Police in Austin, Texas, identifying the man who they say opened fire and killed 3 victims at a Target parking lot on Monday. Monday.
32-year-old Ethan Neinecker was a man who opened fire on his victims in the Target parking lot in Austin on Monday, according to police. They say he shot his victims and then stole a car and took off, killing the owner of that car. He allegedly crashed into other cars before he got out and stole a different car from a dealership. Then he was later caught. The motive for all of it is unclear, but police say he has a history of mental illness. Alex Stone, ABC News.
The president has apparently lowered his expectations for his upcoming meeting with Russia's Vladimir Putin. CBS's Weisha Shang.
On X, Zelensky cited a new intelligence report claiming Putin is definitely not preparing for a ceasefire or an end to the war. Putin is determined only to present a meeting with America as his personal victory, and that Russia is redeploying their troops and forces in ways that suggest preparations for new offensive operations.
President Trump has warned that Russia would face steep tariffs if a ceasefire deal with Ukraine was not reached.
And the president also extending the China tariff deadline by 90 days. News Nation's Kelly Meyer.
Talks with China will continue for another 3 months. This new deadline is now November 10th, which sets the stage for a potential Trump-Xi summit, which the president has said he is open to. Now, President Trump signed this executive order extending the trade truce just hours before the midnight deadline last night. And if the tariffs were to snap back, it could have escalated the trade war.
U.S. tariffs on Chinese imports currently at 30%, while China's duties on United States imports will remain about 10%, at least for now. Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Everything flying high right now. The Dow is surging up over 500 points at 44,482. NASDAQ up nearly 300 points at 21,654. S&P 500 having a good day, up a little over a percentage point, up 66 at 64.39. For sound financial advice from a fee-only fiduciary, it's Annex Wealth Management. Go to annexwealth.com and click on the Get Started button today.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 1:05.
As the kiddos get ready to get back to school, you can find really great back-to-school savings at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores. School supplies and some surprisingly cool clothing, too. And teachers, you get an additional discount. Get the best back-to-school bargains at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
Ooh, you're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Looking for books, movies, digital tools, exciting programs, and more? Milwaukee County Public Libraries have it all, totally free. One library card opens the doors to all 27 public libraries in the county. Kids can dive into story times and STEAM kits full of fun and discovery, while adults can join book clubs, sharpen career skills, or take online classes in everything from tech to language learning. Head to findmylibrary.org to begin exploring libraries and open up a world of unlimited access to learning and fun.
Imagine that unbelievable new deck in your backyard. Outdoor Living Unlimited is Wisconsin's #1 TimberTech deck builder. Building new decks and replacing old ones, creating that $1 million feeling every time you relax in your own backyard. Looking for a company to make your backyard scream wow? Stop by Outdoor Living Unlimited's resourceful Waukesha showroom and visit OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
It's Gina Della. You've heard me define what makes Pella Windows and Doors different. Let me introduce you to the woman behind the billboards, commercials, and share my extraordinary journey of resilience, reinvention, and shattering glass ceilings every Saturday morning at 6:30 on 620 WTMJ and anywhere you stream podcasts for What's the Difference with Gina Della to discuss business coaching across all industries, featuring successful executives, entrepreneurs, and mentors along the way. This is a story you won't want to miss.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. Not going to be easy for the Brewers tonight. They go up against Paul Skeens, the all-star starter for the Pittsburgh Pirates, as Pat Murphy's crew looks to make it 11 wins in a row.
We have to play up-tempo baseball and offensively, We have to do that, against whoever's pitching. It doesn't matter. We're not going to sit back and try to slug. That's not our game. And I hear that that's the only way to win in big situations, whatever. We have to do what we have to do, who we are.
Coverage of tonight's game begins following the 6 o'clock news on WTMJ. Packers GM Brian Gutekunst says Jordan Love had a procedure done on his thumb to repair a ligament issue. It's on his left thumb, so his non-throwing hand. Gutekunst expects Love to return to practice next week and should be fine for the start of the regular season. Packers off to Indianapolis for a joint practice with the Colts on Thursday. Preseason game number 2 scheduled for a noon kickoff on Saturday. Taking a look at your roads, WTMJ Time Saver traffic update. Same issues here persist, mainly in Washington and Waukesha County. Right there on the board, County Line Road is where you'll see a couple of lanes of traffic. 4145 northbound, just beyond the ramp here from County Line Road. Areas of the freeway closed due to flooding, so be mindful if you're working your way through that area. It's looking like it's getting a little bit better according to one view on the tower cam that I have, but it's still slow going if you're moving through that stretch. A little further southbound on 4145, delays begin heading in the northbound direction right around Watertown Plank, but you're at pretty much full freeway speeds by the time you get to North Avenue. Southbound delays begin right around Good Hope Road. You should be freed up and back to normal by the time you get through North Avenue, kind of on and off through that stretch. 94 eastbound heading into downtown, looking pretty good right now, looking like normal freeway times. However, just beyond the ramp from Moreland Road, heading eastbound, the right shoulder blocked due to a disabled. Just move over if you're heading in that area in Brookfield.
Here is the WTMJ 5-day forecast. Flood warnings are extended until Friday morning for Waukesha and Ozaukee counties and until further notice for Milwaukee County. Today, partly sunny and warm with a high of 82. Tonight, clear with a low of 65. Wednesday and Thursday will be carbon copy days. Both days will be mostly sunny with a high of 80. On Friday, mostly sunny with a high of 84. And things get a little warmer on Saturday with mostly sunny and a high of 86. In Milwaukee, it's 78 degrees. Outdoor living unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 1:10.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzek, and in for Jessica Ty, it's Telly Hughes.
Greg and Telly today, Jessica back tomorrow as the Brewers round out the homestand and series and, I don't know, maybe go for 12 in a row. They got some work to do tonight, though, taking on Paul Skeens as they go for 11 straight wins. Game 2 of a 3-game series against the Pirates. Some big stories that we're following here as we hit to the 1 o'clock hour.
And now it's time for 3 Big Things on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Number one, we've achieved a bit of a progress update here with the folks in We Energies. According to We Energies, 19,912 customers remain without power this morning at about 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock or so. That number was well over 25,000. So progress being made as crews continue to restore a sense of normalcy, get the power back up and running. Most of these issues are in Waukesha County, where heavy winds this morning, upwards of 60 to 70 miles an hour, came ripping through in advance of some rain, thunder, and lightning this morning, and it's caused issues.
The dispatchers on an average weekend, 24-hour period of time, take about 400 calls. From 6 o'clock Saturday to about 6 o'clock Sunday, they took almost 1,900 calls and called back 550 people that were in the queue that they couldn't get through right away. So we called them back.
Yeah, it's Waukesha County Executive Paul Farrow. He's going to join us coming up in just a few minutes here with the latest. But, that was with the issues that occurred over the weekend. Well, now you got a compounding issue here with so many customers without power due to those winds and storms this morning. Woke me up. The thunder and lightning, that was something. We had patio furniture flying around. It was pretty nasty for a stretch.
Yeah, it came down hard, and that wind was blowing extremely hard this morning. Not a great way to wake up or get woken up out of your sleep. Yes. Number 2, companies raising their prices in response to President Trump's tariffs appear to be driving up inflation. ABC's Jim Ryan has a look at the Consumer Price Index for July.
Compared to a year ago, inflation was up 2.7% last month, but strip out food and energy costs, and the increase was 3.1% year over year. One item pushing up core inflation is airfares. which surged 4% in July after several months in decline.
Strong demand and limited capacity are also driving factors in the cost to fly. Delays in aircraft production and engine inspections are limiting the number of available planes. Other goods and services seeing a price hike in July include infants and toddlers apparel up 3.3%, and the cost to fix your vehicle.
Another athlete doing good here in the state of Wisconsin, Bucks forward Bobby Portis, the newest member of Feeding America Eastern Wisconsin's Board of Directors, officially announced earlier today with a press conference. Portis has worked with the organization for more than 4 years, supporting collection drives, funding mobile food distributions, and helping to raise awareness about food insecurity, especially among children. Portis and members of the Bucks front office staff working today with volunteers to pack emergency food boxes that'll be distributed to communities in southeastern Wisconsin most impacted by recent flooding. So Bobby has had a long-standing relationship with the folks at Feeding America, and he's turning it into a spot on the organization's board of directors.
How cool is that? It's a lot of times you will see athletes that play in different cities may volunteer their time and services while they're playing in that city, but for him to become a part of that means that not only this has nothing to do with his playing career with the Bucks, but this is something that's near and dear to his heart, and he wants to serve in eastern Wisconsin as part of the board of directors. So that's a really cool thing.
I love that. Giannis, of course, heavily involved with the Milwaukee Diaper Mission, and so many athletes doing so many good things here in the state of Wisconsin. That's for sure. Bobby, the latest. 1:15 on WTMJ. State of emergency here for Waukesha County. Thousands remain without power. The Fox River getting very close to bridges and whatnot in Waukesha County. We'll connect with Paul Farrow, the Waukesha County executive, with a status update coming up in just a couple of minutes.
Save big on everything for your next project when you shop at Menards. Finish your outdoor wood projects with Cabot Premium Wood Care products. Australian Timber Oil is an exterior stain that provides maximum penetration, durability, and water repellency, making it ideal for decks, siding, outdoor furniture, and more. Save big money at Menards on Cabot Premium Wood Care products. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
Horicon Bank is founded by inventors, fueled by community, and focused on business. Greg Matzek here. Let me tell you more about Horicon Bank. They opened their doors back in 1896. That's pretty amazing. The folks in Horicon needed a bank. People were going to work. Wisconsin was up and running as a state, and Horicon Bank was there for its community. Well, it still is in Horicon and beyond. That's right. You may have noticed Horicon Bank expanding into southeastern Wisconsin. Some old banks that you might remember from years ago, well, now have a Horicon Bank sign. And that means service. That means community. That means the right approach for you and your business. To get the job done at Horicon Bank, service and products go hand in hand with financing requests that can be approved in days, not weeks. Your banker understands you and your business at Horicon Bank. Together doing good. That is the vision of Horicon Bank. They're wonderful people. The folks I've connected with have been nothing but kind and helpful. Horicon Bank is truly the natural choice. Member FDIC.
This is Matt Meitner, owner of Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Do you find yourself talking to your dog but feel like she's not listening to you?
Bella, sit!
Are you constantly repeating yourself but she's not following your directions?
Sit! Sit!
Frustrating, isn't it? At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we want to help you have a happy, confident, and obedient dog, and we also want to make the training process an enjoyable and worthwhile experience. Contact Sit Means Sit today to schedule a free consultation so we can create a customized training program so you are able to have the dog you want and deserve.
Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Sorry, we don't train husbands, wives, or kids.
Good luck raising your Jolly Roger here, because you mateys will be shivering your timbers after facing us. It's the Brewers and the Pirates in Milwaukee.
Drilled into deep left center field. This is flying back towards the wall. It is up. It is gone. Babe Vaughn has struck.
Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts tonight at 6:05. We are the home of the Brewers. 620 WTMJ.
Well, state of emergency remains in Milwaukee County and in Waukesha County, and it was declared yesterday afternoon. Thousands remain without power, and really the power outages have more to do with rain and winds of today. So compounding issues here in the city of Waukesha and Waukesha County, where we connect with Waukesha County Executive Paul Farrow. Paul, of course, the emergency declaration made before winds and storms came through, kind of around 2, and thus thousands remain without power.
Yeah, Greg, Telly, how you guys doing? It's been a wild couple of days, hasn't it? That's the only way I can describe it.
Yeah, you're right. And, we've got people, we live in Waukesha County, Paul, as you know, in Menominee Falls, among the hardest hit areas. But we're certainly not exclusive out in that area, where I know pockets of Waukesha County also experienced, rain totals hovering around a foot and standing water in basements, roads and low-lying areas impassable. Even today, days after the weekend's flooding. Can you give us an update or a sense of where things stand?
Sure. And the thing to keep in mind, too, is with the declaration, we actually declared the state of emergency on Sunday. What it does for us is kind of sets a lot of pieces into place as we're moving forward on how to take care of this. But for the people right now, most important thing to keep in mind, if they have any concerns, they're looking for services, they want to report standing water, they can call 211. Just like they can in Milwaukee, that's the information hotline to get information out to us and find out services for them. The other big thing, we still have closures. So we've got road closures throughout the county and a lot of the municipalities. We have created on the waukeshacounty.gov website, the main page will send you to information about where the road closures are, what to keep in mind. And I'm going to emphasize this. If you come across a road that has blockades on it, that's barricaded, and it may not have standing water, do not cross those barricades, because there could have been the underbedding of the road could have been washed out, things that you can't see. We've still had a number of people kind of driving around the barricades that are causing problems. We want to make sure we're trying to assess the roads as quickly as possible. As of right now, county roads impacted is about $2 million worth of damage. That doesn't include the municipalities and others. So it's going to still be a couple of days till we get the big picture on how the impact of this weekend's rain has hit us.
Paul, especially with this second round of rain and winds, I'm sure that the police department and the fire department and other emergency medical service people have been inundated with calls. But I know people will have to pack up some patience with this, but how have the response time been in helping people that have been in need?
So Telly, when you think about it, over the weekend, it was hectic. It was crazy. Coming in at night like it did, typically the later shifts don't have as many people on right away. Most of the municipalities called up everybody to say, get out here, we need the help. Like you've had on the radio, we had almost 1,900 calls in less than a 24-hour period of time to our centralized dispatch, which handles 32 of the 37 municipalities in Waukesha County. What I would say is last night's storm was more typical of what we see. Heavy winds come in, it blows through, and it blows through relatively quickly. I know you guys were talking about waking up. Unfortunately for me, my wife and dogs were up north over the weekend. Unfortunately, they're back, and my golden retriever hates storms. So he was letting me know at 4:30 in the morning that a storm was coming, and I got to get ready because the whole world's falling apart on him. So we had to deal with, those little things. But the storm yesterday is different than the emergency. So it's not covered under the declaration. We're still assessing some tree damage and things like that are going on. The one thing that I would remind people is, especially with the storms over the weekend, water is still rising. So we're getting assessments daily on the Fox River that you've talked about, but also low-lying areas. Some of our parks, we're starting to close down certain areas because the water's finally gotten to a point where it's now causing some inconveniences that we have to deal with. And so this is going to be a kind of a long range. The next week or so, we're still going to be dealing with the kind of the aftermath of the water going through the county.
Paul, when do you envision lifting that state of emergency? What needs to happen before that declaration is pulled back?
So our state of emergency, it ran for 48 hours. So it's just about expiring now. We have talked to the powers that be. We don't think we need to extend it because we've seen all the damage that's occurred since Saturday and Sunday. The assessment now is the process we're going through. So when you think about an emergency declaration, what it does is two primary things. It allows us to kind of put a pause on county ordinances, how we go through procurement processes. If we've got to go out and buy sand or gravel, things like that, we can do it right away. We don't have to go through an RFP. The second one is it sets up the process to work with the state. When the governor declared the state of emergency yesterday, now we can get reimbursement. The municipalities can get reimbursement, and it begins that whole process to work for federal reimbursement as well. So the declaration, it doesn't mean that everything's over because I only did it for 48 hours. It means that was the impact point of this storm to get things started and now to figure out how we're going to clean it all up.
I can't imagine, today's storms, this morning's storms helped with the Fox River situation. Pretty much every TV news outlet has it set up. They've got this beautiful tower cam overlooking the Fox River at Frame Park in Waukesha. It's just a beautiful setting, but a scary one right now with the waters roaring down and getting closer and closer to where land is or pedestrian footbridges. What is the status of the river right now? That looked pretty dangerous as of about 24 hours ago.
And it still is, Greg. And it's one where we keep telling people it's you want to go see it, but please don't. We saw the story in Milwaukee yesterday where people got too close to the river. Dog fell in. They tried to get them, and one got swept up. Luckily, the people were saved, but they're still looking for the dog. Fast-moving water doesn't appear to be as fast at some places. Standing water, especially as you said, as we're still seeing the water rise, we think it's going to peak out around 8 feet, 8 inches or so. There's still flooding that's occurring as it goes downstream. So we're just asking people to stay away. If you want to watch it, like you said, watch it on the news, see what's happening. But right now for us, we want to make sure we're keeping people as safe as possible. And that way we can get the resources to maybe the people that are downstream that are still being impacted and help them get through the process.
According to We Energy's 4,600 customers in Waukesha County remain without power. We'll keep following it. Paul, we appreciate your time. Paul Farrell, Waukesha County Executive, joining us here at Wisconsin's Midday News. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
You bet. 126 on WTMJ, 14,183 customers in Milwaukee County remain without power. 126 news coming up in just a few.
Your first night camping alone. The new tent, fully set up. Your bug spray, barely keeping up. But you got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with free overdraft protection transfers. So when you bought all those supplies and lost track of your spending, we had you covered. You got this with free overdraft protection transfers from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
For 70 years, Geist has been the trusted garage authority in the state of Wisconsin. Don't let a busted garage door get you down. Call my friends at Geist today. They've got brands like CHI and LiftMaster in stock, ready to go for you. Doors for every budget. They can even go the custom route for you. I've been to their showroom. It's in Brookfield, right off Barker Road. Some of those areas are low-lying and full of water right now. Maybe make a call to Geist to make sure that their showroom is open for you to get to. If you do plan on making a trip out there, they are located in Brookfield, right off Barker, and they do great work. For over 70 years, they have been the trusted garage authority in Wisconsin. Swift and reliable garage repair solutions are a phone call away. You can start the process online by visiting their website. It's just simply geistdoors.com. Visit geistdoors.com. And don't think twice. Call Geist.
Discover Proof Pizza at St. Kate the Arts Hotel. In the heart of Milwaukee's Theater District, this modern pizzeria delivers Neapolitan-style pies, a bold grill menu, and old-school hospitality in a sleek, art-inspired setting. Whether you're craving a quick lunch or a relaxed evening bite, Proof Pizza is your go-to downtown destination. Dine in, unwind, and savor flavor that hits just right. And here's a tip. If you mention Jen Latta, you'll receive 10% off your order. Learn more at stkatearts.com.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer. Our policy is to provide equal opportunity employment, development, and advancement to all current and potential teammates. If you are an organization that maintains a job bank, provides employment information, or gives job referrals, you may request to be placed on the station's mailing list for future career opportunities. To learn more about careers at Good Karma Brands, please email careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
What are you doing every day to support your liver? If you enjoy sweets, fast food, alcohol, or take any medications, that's a vital question to ask. Hi, I'm Sherry Torkas, pharmacist and health author. For over 30 years, I've helped people make informed decisions about their health, especially concerning prevention and long-term wellness. Supporting your liver isn't just a wellness trend, it's a daily essential. That's why I recommend Active Liver by New Nordic. It's made with plant-based ingredients like milk thistle, turmeric, and globe artichoke, herbs clinically studied for their protective and restorative effects on the liver. Active Liver blends traditional herbal wisdom with modern scientific research. Not all supplements are created equal. I trust Active Liver because it's backed by science, meets strict quality standards, and delivers true daily liver support.
Protect your liver and give it the support that it deserves by making Active Liver from New Nordic part of your daily wellness routine. Find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS, Meijer Grocery, or online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com.
As the kiddos get ready to get back to school, you can find really great back-to-school savings at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores. School supplies and some surprisingly cool clothing too. And teachers, you get an additional discount. Get the best back-to-school bargains at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
Ooh, you're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
It's 1:30. I'm Greg Matzek. This is Wisconsin's Midday News. Your top story, tragedy in downtown Milwaukee.
I'm Telly Hughes in for Jessica Ty. What's next after a state of emergency?
Partly sunny, warm today, a high of 82. It's currently 76 in Milwaukee.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Authorities in Pennsylvania continue to investigate yesterday's explosion at the Claritin Coke Works plant outside Pittsburgh. 2 people died in that blast, one identified as Timothy Quinn. The other victim's family did not release the name. Governor Josh Shapiro at a briefing says they're still monitoring air quality. Allegheny County health officials say tests so far show it's safe.
There have been no troubling tests of air or water that we have seen yet, but we all want to remain vigilant.
Hundreds of National Guard troops being deployed to Washington, D.C. a day after President Trump announced the federal government would take over local law enforcement to help fight crime. D.C.'s mayor says they're working to collaborate with the Trump administration. President Trump in a social media post once again criticizing Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell. He says over interest rates, the president signaled he may let a lawsuit move forward against Powell over the costs of renovations of 2 historic Fed buildings. And on Wall Street, stocks are up. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 1:31. Developing story in Milwaukee where a person has died after being hit near the Milwaukee Public Market. Officers called around 11 o'clock this morning to Broadway and St. Paul. Early reports are that one person was pulled from under a truck. The medical examiner is on the scene. We'll bring you more details as they become available.
What happens after a state of emergency declaration? Waukesha County made their declaration on Sunday following historic flooding. County Executive Paul Farrell tells Wisconsin's Midday News.
It allows us to kind of put a pause on county ordinances, how we go through procurement processes. If we've got to go out and buy sand or gravel, things like that, we can do it right away. We don't have to go through an RFP. The second one is it sets up the process to work with the state. Now we can get reimbursement, the municipalities can get reimbursement, and it begins that whole process to work for federal reimbursement as well.
The current state of emergency declaration was only in effect for 48 hours and just expired.
Officials in Germantown conducting voluntary evacuations of the Rivers Bend Circle subdivision due to ongoing flooding and power outages. Fire Chief John Delane says personnel are actively canvassing the area, attempting to reach all residents.
We will continue working on this till we're confident that everybody who wants to get out has gotten out. In addition, we have had a number of residents who were able to self-rescue via some higher land that are in the middle of the neighborhoods. And we did perform one rescue yesterday, earlier in the day, for an elderly person.
Subdivision is just west of 4145 near County Line Road, where freeway flooding has been ongoing since early this morning.
3 people are displaced after a fire at their home in the town of Delafield. Lake Country Fire and Rescue responded just before 6 a.m. this morning to a roof fire on Huntsman Court on the city's northeast side. Everyone was safely evacuated. The cause of the fire is under investigation, with damages estimated around $300,000.
Well, popular Milwaukee band adds another stop in the city on their upcoming tour. Violent Femmes were scheduled to play Riverside on Saturday, October 15th. Drummer John Sparrow tells Wisconsin's Morning News.
The first show sold out. That's why we have the second one, right? Technically, that was the last date that's going to be the last date of the tour. So they'll then have that sold out. Adding the second one, people are going to be like, oh, wow.
All right. Well, the Femmes will play again. The same venues, Sunday, October 19th. For ticket info, text the word BAND to the Siding Unlimited talk and text line, 855-616-1620.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 1:34.
It's worth $100 now to save thousands later. Vince Vitrano for Urban Heating and Cooling. Family-owned business. Ryan and his wife, Ellie. I had Ryan out to the Vitrano house for an AC tune-up. Cleaned out all the coils, checked for any issues that could cause breakdowns, set up my air conditioner to run more efficiently all summer. This service available in your home for just $99 plus tax, saving on your electric bills, helping prevent more costly repairs down the road. Tell them Vinny sent you when you call. UrbanHeatingandCooling.com.
Experience, knowledge, results. That's what really matters when you need help after a serious truck accident. You'll need a lawyer experienced in fighting and winning for people just like you. Gruber Law Offices has the resources, strong track record of success, and a team of experienced lawyers to take care of your needs. We've successfully helped people injured in big truck accidents for more than 35 years. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Lake Geneva. It's where families have been making memories around the water for generations. Lakeside resorts and spas, award-winning restaurants, and charming shops are just the beginning of an unforgettable summer getaway. Lake cruises, boating, and beach lounging let you soak up the sun, water, and family time. Hike a lakeshore path, stargaze from an iconic observatory, or soar above it all in a hot air balloon. Go ziplining, visit an animal safari, or see dancing horses. Start making your memories today at visitlakegeneva.com.
I'm living the life that I lived before I started having knee pain 10 years ago.
Meet Julie, a woman who makes the most of every moment in life. But over the last years, those moments were filled with agonizing pain until she discovered QC Kinetics.
Finally, the pain got so bad that people around me are like, oh, when are you getting your knee replaced? I was walking, hobbling. I listened to my last QC Kinetics commercial and I said, I'm done. I got to find out about this.
What Julie found out was that QC Kinetics treats pain associated with osteoarthritis with regenerative therapy. Taking your body's own healing properties and concentrating them in the areas where you feel pain, helping heal and restore those damaged areas. No harmful steroids, surgery, or downtime.
It changed how I'm living. I'm able to do the things that I wasn't able to do for a long time.
Get back your life before the pain. Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
Accunet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLSConsumerAccess.org, number 255368.
At Wisconsin's own Accunet Mortgage, our closing costs are typically $1,000 to $3,000 less than the banks or the mortgage guys with the Rocket for exactly the same rate. Find out how much you can save at accunet.com.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. The Brewers go for 11 wins in a row tonight. Won't be easy for Pat Murphy's lineup. They'll take on all-star starter Paul Skeens of the Pirates.
We have to play up-tempo baseball and offensively, you know. We have to do that, you know, against whoever's pitching. It doesn't matter. We're not going to sit back and try to slug. That's not our game. And I know I hear that that's the only way to win in big situations, whatever. We have to do what we have to do, who we are.
Coverage of tonight's game begins following the 6 o'clock news on WTMJ. Packers GM Brian Gutekunst says quarterback Jordan Love is having a procedure done on his left thumb to repair a ligament issue. Gutekunst expects Love to return to practice next week and be fine for the start of the regular season. And in college football, it's Texas, Penn State, Ohio State, Clemson, and Georgia That's your top 5 in the preseason, according to the Associated Press. All sorts of issues here on 4145 going in both directions. Let's begin here. 4145 southbound at Landon Road, right shoulder blocked due to a disabled vehicle. As you head further south, you'll start to run into some traffic, some construction-related traffic, right around Mill Road, and that will take you all the way through Silver Spring down toward Capitol Road. You're back to full freeway speeds once you get to about North Avenue. Northbound delays began right around Watertown Plank, kind of on and off the brakes until you get close to Capitol Drive. And then you've got some issues with flooding on the freeway. In fact, about a half mile or so north of County Line Road on 4145, just north of Menominee Falls, you're looking at 2 right lanes blocked because of flooding. So be careful if you're on 4145, either slow going due to construction or flood-related issues as you move to the north. Otherwise, pretty standard travel times across the system here this afternoon. So I have like a patio furniture couch, for lack of a better term. It's it's kind of like the wicker thing, and you got clips underneath it to hold the pieces together, and the cushions are nice. It's pretty good sized, and it sits on our patio. Well, I've wrapped it in a tarp, and I've put sandbags on top of the tarp just to kind of keep everything in place and shield from the rain. Amazingly, this morning, one of the sandbags was on the ground, the tarp had peeled back, and a cushion was in my neighbor's yard. And my neighbor's Ling Grindle, for goodness sake. So he didn't have to call me to tell me to come get the cushion. I noticed it, ran over and got it in the rain. That tells me, as we're welcomed by Brian Niznansky, chief meteorologist for TMJ4, that the wind kicked up in advance of the rain.
Yeah.
That patio cushion was likely in Lane's yard well before I saw thunder and lightning.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if around your neighborhood you had, other things scattered around. Those storms this morning packed a pretty good wind punch across Waukesha County, eventually northern Milwaukee, and southern Ozaukee County as well. Got a 67-mile-per-hour wind gust to your west out in Oconomowoc, and I would say it's very possible, some spots throughout Brookfield into Menominee Falls had at least 50-plus mile-per-hour wind gusts.
Brian, I know when the initial storm happened, I know a lot of meteorologists were saying that the problem was the storms just kept redeveloping over the same area. Was there any sort of fear that may happen again this morning? Because that wind was so fierce that it woke both me and my wife up at like 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah, it was roaring pretty good. There was a little bit of training concerns this morning, but thankfully the storms that did move through were pretty quick movers. They dropped about a half inch to an inch of rain across southeastern Wisconsin. Because if we got any sort of training, we call it thunderstorms, round after round after round, that would really compounded issues. We can see what an additional half inch to an inch did to our rain and flood situation this morning, which was bad enough. And things have escalated in a few spots. I just heard the traffic report, Telly and Greg, as far as 4145 through Menominee Falls and Germantown. There are many other side streets, too, highways, County Line Road, Mequon Road area that are dealing with standing water in the Germantown area and down into Menominee Falls, some businesses. We've seen the flooding really ramp up there this morning. I think what's going on, it's very interesting because downstream you have a river gauge that you can see the river levels down into Menominee Falls. And that gauge really hasn't moved much this morning. So what that's telling me is there's probably some sort of, and I don't know for sure, but just given that the gauge isn't moving downstream, and we saw a significant rise in water upstream, that there's some sort of potential blockage in the river, the Menominee River, that's causing an isolated spike in the river level right in the Menominee Falls and Germantown area. So I wouldn't be surprised if that ends up being the case as to why we're getting that ramp up in flooding this morning.
Yeah, and still thousands without power in that area. This is kind of anywhere, right? Honey Creek through Wauwatosa, that's a source of rain, and that water level has risen tremendously. You talked about some of the issues here in Menominee Falls. There's obviously in the heart of Menominee Falls, the Menominee River, and a big sort of waterfall that's beautiful to look at and take pictures. But right now, that water is absolutely roaring. And he mentioned some of the side streets, Brian, out where I live, so near Marcy and Silver Spring. I had noticed some issues and some of the road was blocked off on Sunday, and still, again, this morning, like it hasn't gone anywhere.
Yeah, this little bit of rain, well, little compared to the 14 inches we got on Sunday, really stalls out the drying process. So we got to hope we don't get any more downpours this afternoon. The good news is I do think if we do get anything, it'll be very hit and miss, pretty scattered this afternoon and evening. But we don't want any additional rainfall, and hopefully things will still start to slowly dry out. Still waiting on the National Weather Service to 100% confirm the rain gauge report, which was an official rain gauge through the sewer district. North of Timmerman Airport, northwest side of Milwaukee, had a 24-hour rainfall of 14.5 inches. That would smash the 24-hour state record for Wisconsin and officially put the stamp on this flood event as historic here in southeastern Wisconsin.
Well, once we get beyond today, it looks like quite a drying out period here over the next several days, much needed.
Yeah, weather looks great tomorrow, Thursday. Much of Friday, too. We do have some rain chances returning, though, this weekend. So let's dry out as much as we can so that once we get additional rain, we don't start to get back into the flooding territory this weekend. So a couple reminders, and I know this sounds trivial for most. Please, especially if you have kids, make sure they're not playing near some of these streams and rivers that are just extremely fast moving and rapids. I mean, you're flirting with a cliff. Think of it that way. You go in, you don't stand much of a chance in some of these spots. So please stay a safe distance from these waterways. Also, like if you have basement flooding, I heard a really good segment you had earlier, Greg. I think it was yesterday, as far as, don't just immediately go into your flooded basement. There's certain things that you need to be aware of and cautions that need to take place.
Yeah, Fire Chief Aaron Lipsky warning all of our fans and listeners, if you see standing water in your basement, don't be in a hurry to go in there. It could be bacteria, risk of electrocution. If the pilot light is out in your water heater, all of a sudden you could have a gas issue, right? There's any one of a number of things that could be extremely dangerous in that standing water situation in your basement. So be cautious, make the phone calls you need to make, and let the experts handle it if you possibly can. Niz, we appreciate it, man. Looking forward to drying out here a little bit. Great work. Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yep, me too, guys. Telly, Greg, we'll see you.
Sounds good. 1:45 on WTMJ. The Brewers are taking the field tonight against the Pirates, looking for win number 11 in a row. And tomorrow, if they win tonight, you know what that could mean. We'll go through it after this.
Visit family-owned Ken Michaels Furniture and our in-store design centers, where you'll still find beautiful, luxurious, heirloom-quality American-made furniture. Right now, save 30 to 35% store-wide and take advantage of our complimentary design services. Whether you're moving, renovating, or updating, our designers will help your vision become a reality. Visit Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield on Capitol Drive and in Greenfield on Highway 100 to save 30 to 35% store-wide today. Sleep better and save more with mattresses from Milwaukee Mattress and Ken Michaels Furniture. Handcrafted in our Milwaukee factory, our mattresses utilize natural materials like cotton cushioning, which dissipates body heat, Joma wool quilts for warm wintry nights and cool summer evenings, and natural latex providing superior conformability and pressure relief for aching joints. Stop in today at any Ken Michaels Furniture store and save up to 50% compared to national brands.
Since 1964, we've changed your tires and so much more. Richland's Tire and Service, such a refreshing change. Richland's.
So, Alex, why don't you tell us about Lion's Tail?
We've been brewing for 10 years, and now we're busy expanding into Milwaukee, trying to get on every shelf of every store and on tap at every restaurant.
How has Horicon Bank been a part of your story?
Horicon Bank understands the needs of small businesses versus working with a big bank. Horicon, they're much like a small business, just like we are. I know most of the people on that team. It's nice working with someone that understands your business.
Without an Advent clinic nearby, people suffering needlessly from chronic nasal congestion and sinus infections would be stuck with either Band-Aid or Sledgehammer solutions. Band-Aids are pills or nasal sprays, and they're not true solutions. Surgery is a sledgehammer, and that's what we're trying to avoid. Because most people don't need surgery for nose and sinus issues, nor do they want a 14-day recovery. Our unique Advent approach can, in 20 minutes in our office, open your blocked nose for good, with only 1 day recovery. I'm Advent founder Dr. Kandula. Outside of Advent's four walls, invasive surgery is what they'll recommend. But here you will find effective and convenient in-office solutions to help you stop the need for Band-Aids and avoid the sledgehammer.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Most insurance accepted.
At Dillon's, they don't overcomplicate it. They start with their award-winning small batch gin to create craft cocktails that are balanced, crisp, and never too sweet. Like strawberry rhubarb with a zest of lime, or tangerine, lemon, and just a hint of mint. Elevated flavor combinations stand out and keep things refreshing. For those seeking a better cocktail experience, enjoy it straight from the can or pour it over ice. Dillon's Cocktails, made the right way. Please enjoy responsibly.
All right, at the risk of getting too far ahead of ourselves, we do know what's on the line here for Brewers fans if they can rattle off a couple of more wins. And it is pretty amazing to me that for the third time in a single season, we are knocking on the door of this idea of free George Webb hamburgers for Brewers fans.
Yeah, but Greg, I don't think this is getting too far ahead of ourselves, because it's not like they've won only 5 or 6 in a row. I mean, they're up to double digits, and I don't think, and 2 more wins, I mean, you're there. So you got to start to kind of plan ahead a little bit.
Well, it definitely, I think from a George Webb standpoint, you're starting to pay attention to things.
9-10 wins, we start to pay attention. I mean, that's getting close. So, but yeah, we have great suppliers, great vendors. We'll be ready. All hands on deck at this point.
That is Ryan Stamm. He's the VP of George Webb Restaurants. And amazingly, we had him on 2.5, 3 weeks ago, because the Brewers were at 11 with Jacob Mizorowski going on the mound against the Mariners, looking for win number 12. Now, the Brewers did not win that game, but it's crazy to me that just a couple of weeks later, here we are again talking about another streak, and the folks at Webb's maybe keep that order form handy, right? Just don't click send for another day or so, or until mid-afternoon on Wednesday, perhaps, as the Brewers wrap up their 12th straight win. But yes, of course, the internal discussions have certainly begun and are probably very familiar with the fans at Webb's. I asked Ryan Stamm, do they have an insurance policy for this? Because 160,000 burgers potentially, that's a lot of burgers.
We don't. I think it's such a rare thing, and it's such a hard prediction to do. I mean, winning 12 games in baseball is not easy. I mean, you basically have to sweep 3 or 4 teams. It just doesn't happen. So, I mean, we don't have an insurance policy, but, our owners and our franchisees, and it's just such an important, iconic tradition for us. We can't say no and not do it.
Roll the dice and see how it rolls.
Yeah, I wondered that the first time, because when they got to 11, I know they had to start preparing and ordering food. But the good thing is, it's not going to happen on Wednesday, on tomorrow. If they are able to make it 12 in a row, you can't just go in tomorrow afternoon and think you're going to get a free burger. There will be a day designated, maybe, I don't know how far out, but it does give them time to prepare for this day.
They got to catch their breath. They got to staff up.
We'll come up with a day that everyone can come get a free burger. And we're going to do it as quick as we possibly can. I mean, we need to order 20,000 pounds of hamburger. We'll have everything that goes along with the burger, and we'll announce a payoff date. And we'll make sure everyone gets a burger. That's for sure.
20,000 pounds. So that indicates to me they have a projection of how many people might show up and cash in.
Luckily, we have some numbers from 2018, which was well over 100,000 hamburgers. So I think it's going to be that many or more. 2018 was an odd year. They won 12 in a row going into the playoffs. So that was a little bit of an odd year. But, yeah, we're projecting over 100,000. There's no doubt about it, and we'll be ready for that.
You think back in 2018 they did vouchers for some people as well. Like, you're going to get your burger, right, if the Brewers get to this magical total of 12. I remember it back in 1987. And, that was before you were around this area, Telly. But that was Team Streak, the team that had won 13 straight games, but their 12th win was Easter Sunday. Dale Swaim going deep into the right center field bullpen as the Brewers walked off the Texas Rangers. 12 in a row on a 2-run blast by Swaim to win it. Oh, my goodness. Holy cow, do you believe it? The call from Bob Uecker as the Brewers rattled off their 12th win. It was Easter Sunday, and it was magical. And, yes, that was the first time this Brewers franchise, not the Braves, but the Brewers franchise, cashed in on the Webbs deal.
That is awesome. And I think that is such a, Ryan really put it in perspective because that is extremely hard to accomplish. And I know my wife was asking, like, what's the big deal? I was like, well, 12 wins in a row is a huge deal. And a lot of teams don't get an opportunity to accomplish that. And for the Brewers to get a third crack at it in this season alone is phenomenal. And I hope they finally get to that 12 and get the people their burgers.
Well, back in 1987, you had people bronzing their burger. You had people sticking them in freezers, just trying to save it, like you might your wedding day. You're saving your wedding cake for 10 years later. They're doing that with the burgers.
I hope not to eat it. I hope to just show that you were there and got it.
The integrity may take a bit of a hit, but there is quite a history here of this promotion.
This is really a part of history of Milwaukee. The prediction was started in the late 40s with the Milwaukee Braves that they would win 13. Our founder, George Webb, was a huge baseball fan. So, I mean, baseball meant everything to him. He would go every year to spring training for the Braves, I think, down in Florida. So it's like he was an avid baseball fan, really just, in a way, a marketing genius as well to say, hey, this is my prediction, 13 games. And, obviously the Braves left. Brewers came in and we did 12 games. So it didn't pay off till 87. So it took a long time to kind of see this come to fruition.
So there we go, knocking on the door once again. No easy task for the Brewers tonight. Knocking off the Pirates means they'll either knock Paul Skeens out of the game early or just beat him outright. But scoring runs not the easiest thing for the Pirates. Scoring against Paul Skeens not the easiest thing for any team he's pitching against. So tall tale for the Brewers tonight. But what else could disrupt this team? It doesn't matter if they're down 5-0, walk-off wins by throwing guys out from center field. It's just kind of finding ways every game.
Yes, and as a matter of fact, if you need a little more confidence going against Skeens, the last time they did so in Milwaukee, I was at that game. It was Jacob Mizorowski against Skeens, and that was one of his first starts. I think it was his second start, but first one at home, and he held his own. But tonight it'll be Freddie Peralta, and he's been pitching well, and the Brewers' bats have been able to get it done no matter what point of the game it is. So should be a good one.
A couple of all-stars taking the hill tonight in Milwaukee. Our coverage begins after the 6 o'clock news. 1:55 on WTMJ, Wisconsin's Midday News podcast built by Siding Unlimited. Sign up wherever you get your podcasts. Subscribe and take us with you wherever you go. News is coming up.
Hey, if you love true, authentic Mexican food, I highly recommend you stop at the Mine Shaft restaurant in Hartford today. WTMJ's John Mercure here. The Mine Shaft is the most affordable, family-friendly dining restaurant, and the Tuesday all-you-can-eat Mexican buffet is just $9.99. Whoa, that's incredible. Desserts are buy one, get one free. Kids and grandkids under 3 eat for free. Today from the kids menu, they'll love that huge game room quietly set aside from the dining area wherever you live. It's worth the drive to the Mine Shaft today for the all-you-can-eat Mexican buffet, just $9.99. Excelente. Wednesday, the all-you-can-eat haddock fish fry is $7.99. That's a crazy low price. The Mine Shaft in beautiful downtown Hartford, just off Highway 41 near the EAA in Oshkosh. 2 locations, both fantastic. No need to cook today. Just walk in, relax, and enjoy the all-you-can-eat Tuesday Mexican buffet for under $10. Check it out, mineshaftrestaurant.com.
When we're out in your town, come say hi as we broadcast live from the Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin mobile studio.
Anytime you hear us when we're on the road, you can find us live from our brand new mobile studio.
Whether it be Summerfest, EAA, Opening Day, Air and Water Show, wherever we may be.
You can see us on the radio, live from the Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin mobile studio.
We are Wisconsin's radio station.
We are Wisconsin's radio station.
We are Wisconsin's radio station.
News Radio 620 WTMJ.
$1 doesn't buy much unless you're spending it at Griffin. For just $1 over cost, you can buy brand new tires from us. This is Jim Griffin. Any major brand, $1 over our cost with free tire repair and lifetime rotation. We'll even show you the invoice to prove it. Our only requirements, we put them on for you. Buy one or the whole set. The dollar deal from Griffin. Milwaukee, Waukesha, Fort Atkinson, and Jefferson. Griffin, the buck stops here. The deals on tires don't. That's Griffin.
Not combinable with other tire offers. WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
I'm WTMJ's Sandy Max. What makes senior living at Three Pillars so special? Let's hear from my friend Pam.
Good friends of ours moved there, and they had invited us over for dinner a number of times. And they said, we waited way too long. You should come when you're younger. They had no idea it was going to be this great. There are just so many things to do, and it keeps you young. I mean, we have a lot of residents who are pushing 100. I believe they're there and still alive because of Three Pillars.
Schedule a tour today at threepillars.org.
Hey, boaters! It's a boater's do-it-yourselfer's dream store. Kendor Marine stocks thousands of boat parts and supplies. Just about everything you'd ever need to keep your boat up and running. Whether it's common or something you think might be discontinued, you can bet on us having it. So don't be surprised when we have just what you need. I'm Dave Doro, and boaters in the know exactly where to go. Kendor Marine, 57th and Ryan Road in Franklin. Hey, boaters! Cruise to Kendor Marine. We've got everything you need but the water. KendorMarine.com. Hey, boaters! Some call them oddball parts, but we call them a huge part of our inventory. Dave Doro here from Kendor Marine. With thousands of boat parts and supplies stacked right here in our store, you won't have to look elsewhere. If you need it, chances are we got it, along with expert advice to get your job done right. Hey, boaters in the know exactly where to go. Kendor Marine, 57th and Ryan Road in Franklin. Hey, boaters! Cruise to Kendor Marine. We've got everything you need but the water. KendorMarine.com.
Get everything for your next project at Menards. Tackle tough jobs with Loctite Power Grab Adhesive. This all-purpose construction adhesive is easy to use and bonds to a variety of materials. Plus, it's high strength, paintable, and reduces the need for clamping with 0-second instant grab. Save big money on Loctite Power Grab at Menards. And check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
Built Right, one location saves you money.
You gotta get to Built Right today.
Think you've got more heat in your cannon? Well, last time told a different tale.
Swing and a miss. He gassed him up. He blew him away. 102 miles an hour.
It's the Brewers and Pirates in Milwaukee. Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts tonight at 6:05 on the home of the Brewers. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
At 2 o'clock, I'm Greg Matzek. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Tuesday, August 12th. Your top story, more details into a downtown accident.
I'm Telly Hughes, and for Jessica Ty, who controls the police in the nation's capital?
Flood warnings extended until Friday morning for Waukesha and Ozaukee counties and until further notice for Milwaukee County. Clear tonight. Rain should go away, a low of 65. Mostly sunny on Wednesday. Let the dry out begin with a high of 80. 76 and mostly cloudy. In Milwaukee at 2:01. From the WTMJ breaking newsroom, a developing story here. A person is dead after being hit near the Milwaukee Public Market. Officers were called about 11 o'clock this morning to Broadway and St. Paul. Early reports are that one person was pulled from underneath a semi-truck, which remains on the scene. We'll bring you more details as they become available.
Flooding continues to impact roadways across Waukesha County. County Executive Paul Farrell tells Wisconsin's Midday News.
If you come across a road that has blockades on it, that's barricaded, and it may not have standing water, do not cross those barricades, because there could have been the underbedding of the road could have been washed out, things that you can't see. We've still had a number of people kind of driving around the barricades that are causing problems.
Farrell says that there is currently $2 million worth of damage to county roads from this weekend's flooding. That number doesn't include costs from individual municipalities.
A day after President Trump took the unprecedented step of taking emergency control of the Washington, D.C. police, there are questions about who's actually in charge.
D.C. leaders say they're cooperating with administration officials, calling them their federal partners. But they insist the chain of command within the police department hasn't changed, that officers still report up to Chief Pamela Smith. The White House says DEA Administrator Terry Cole is now above her as interim federal commissioner.
And he's working with the chief to ensure that law enforcement officers are allowed to do their jobs in this city.
Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says the administration will reevaluate the situation when the law's 30-day clock on federal control runs out. Stephen Portnoy, ABC News, Washington.
The group behind last month's cyber attack on St. Paul, Minnesota, has posted some of the city's stolen data online.
The posts include work documents, copies of IDs submitted for HR or travel, or even personal items like recipes.
St. Paul Mayor Melvin Carter says the hackers got into a network drive used by the city's Parks and Recreation Department. The city is offering its employees free credit monitoring. The hackers demanded a ransom. The city didn't pay it.
We've installed advanced security software on 90% of all unique city devices.
Residents are being warned not to click on or pay fake bills that appear to come from the city. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Removing the city clerk in Glendale over embezzlement allegations. Glendale Common Council voting unanimously to remove Megan Hummitz during a special meeting on Tuesday. Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel reports Hummitz is alleged to have spent over $10,000 on unapproved purchases over 8 months, beginning in October of 2024. Hummitz also allegedly failed to report purchase receipts, which is a violation of city code. Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Good hour here as the Dow is surging up nearly 450 points at 44,424. NASDAQ up nearly 300 at 21,650. S&P 500 up about 65 points today. That's over a percentage point at 64.39. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Financial planning at every level. For details, visit annexwealth.com.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 2:05.
Staying active, essential for overall health. Proper medical support, essential for staying active. WTMJ's Vince Vitrano for Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Whether it's keeping a weekend warrior like me on the tennis court or keeping young athletes in the game, you want the best in sports medicine, that's OAW. Surgeons, nurses, and physical therapists help you recover from injury, avoid injury in the future, and enhance performance. Get care 7 days a week. Walk right in at an Ortho ASAP clinic or book an appointment online at orthowisconsin.com.
Summer in Milwaukee is non-stop.
Festivals, live music, and fresh city vibes fill the season.
From world-famous cultural celebrations to hidden gem street fairs, every neighborhood is a stage, alive with handcrafted traditions, homegrown talent, and world-class entertainment.
Music, flavor,
culture. Whenever you visit, the Cream City is ready to celebrate. This summer, don't just visit, experience Milwaukee, the city of festivals. Learn more at visitmilwaukee.org/fest.
Hey, John Mercure here for CertaPro Painters. They painted our house, the outside of the house, fantastic. They did the parts in the sun, the parts in the shade, the parts on the north side, the parts on the south side. They paid attention to detail the whole way. They went the extra mile all day long. Schedule your free estimate at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C for your home or your business. They do both. They pay a lot of attention. They took a lot of time with our house, and it looks absolutely perfect. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. They're the real deal. They're the best in the business. It's CertaPro Painters.
Discover how artificial intelligence is transforming manufacturing at the Midwest Manufacturing AI Summit, October 7th at Wisconsin State Fair Park, co-located with WIMTS. This workshop for manufacturing owners, executives, and operations managers will show how AI reduces downtime, increases throughput, and improves quality. Explore a technology showcase, connect with solution providers, consultants, and industry experts, and see how AI tools can drive results on your shop floor. Seats are limited. Register now at techedpodcast.com/AI Summit.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. The Brewers go for 11 wins in a row tonight, taking on Paul Skeens and the Pittsburgh Pirates. Coverage gets underway following the 6 o'clock news on WTMJ. And meanwhile, Packers quarterback Jordan Love undergoing a minor procedure on his non-throwing hand. He's got some ligament damage with his thumb. Brian Gutekunst, the Packers GM, believes Love will return to practice next week and should be fine for the start of the regular season. Packers travel to Indianapolis with the Colts in joint practices on Thursday. Preseason game number 2 is scheduled for Saturday afternoon. Taking a look at your roads, a WTMJ Time Saver traffic update. Flooding on the roadway here, 41 US 45 northbound, about 0.8 of a mile from the ramp at County Line Road. The right lane is closed. They had 2 lanes closed for the bulk of the morning and into the early portion of the afternoon. About 10 minutes ago, they opened up 1 lane of traffic. It's still kind of slow going in there. Volume is not all that thick. However, it's going to take you a few extra minutes to get from Good Hope Road north to 167 on 4145. Southbound delays begin right around Mill Road. It should be cleared up by the time you get through to North Avenue, back to full freeway speeds at that juncture. Heading northbound, your delays begin right around Watertown Plank, and you are on the brakes, kind of on and off the brakes until you get to roughly Burleigh. Otherwise, standard travel times across the system this afternoon.
Here is the WTMJ 5-day forecast. Flood warnings are extended until Friday morning for Waukesha and Ozaukee counties and until further notice for Milwaukee County. Today, heavy rain, partly sunny and warm with a high of 82. Clear tonight with a low of 65. Wednesday, mostly sunny with a high of 80. Same drill on Thursday, mostly sunny with a high of 80 as well. Friday gets a little warmer, mostly sunny with a high of 84. And Saturday, highs will reach 86. Right now, it's 80 degrees in Milwaukee. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 2:09.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzek, and in for Jessica Ty, it's Telly Hughes.
Well, much of the rain from this morning and early portion of the afternoon is now over Lake Michigan and starting to encroach on western Michigan. We are in a dry-out phase now, which is great. We need it. Still not terribly sunny, at least not downtown. Should hopefully clear out before too long here. It should be a clear evening, but nice to hear you in the forecast, Telly, say put it on repeat. Mostly sunny with highs in the 80s over the next couple of days. Rain chances return over the weekend here, but a few straight dry days is exactly what crews and residents and homeowners all need here to make sure things are cleared up, cleaned up, and hopefully back to normal here.
Yes, and especially like even the second round of rain and winds last night, the first thing I thought was this is the last thing that we need is more rain, as you know, rivers are reaching levels that they have never reached before and not getting a chance to recede at all because more rain had come. So hopefully this is the end of it, and like you said, by tomorrow everything is rolled out of here and we can start to dry out a little more.
You know, weather, restoration, and cleanup remain our top story here as we hit the 2 o'clock hour.
Here's your top 2 at 2 on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Checking the outage map here on We Energies, down to 18,731. That's customers without power. The majority of those, over 10,000, are in Milwaukee County. About 4,000 or so are in Waukesha County, plenty in Washington and Jefferson counties as well. But most of the concentration here in Milwaukee County. And it was largely due to heavy winds this morning that rolled through.
With already that saturated ground, we knew that could possibly happen because the ground is so wet.
That's Amy Johns from We Energies. State of emergency in Milwaukee County. Same for Waukesha County, however, that is scheduled to expire. And according to County Executive Paul Farrow, doesn't appear they'll need to extend it. However, they are still watching the flood lines here along the Fox River and in several parts of Waukesha County as the waters roar in certain areas and localized streets remain flooded. So keep an eye on that if you're traveling through. Do not drive through the barricades. That road might be heavily compromised if there's water standing there or not. And if you want to tackle that DIY project of removing carpet from a basement that's got standing water, Fire Chief Aaron Lipsky cautions.
We really want to caution people against going into any standing water. There's potential for electrocution. If you smell any gas, call 911. We'll get out there. We can secure the gas because when that pilot light goes out, that gas can free flow. That creates a terribly explosive, hazardous environment for you.
Yeah, dangerous situations here in areas of standing water. We've seen it all in the area that I live, Telly, out in Waukesha County. You live in Milwaukee County or Tosa. Wanaki Golf Course, which is just a couple of miles from my house. They do have a creek that sort of rolls through on the 18th hole. It's a very long par 5. Well, that creek is now up onto the fairway, and in both directions, it looks like a man-made lake on that golf course.
Wow.
Never seen the course underwater like it is today.
That is unbelievable, and that is a microcosm of how a lot of Milwaukee and Waukesha counties and Ozaki counties are basically underwater. I mean, we talked about Hart Park, and we're going to talk to Andrew Thompson, the Wauwatosa East athletic director, about the damage that has been done at Hart Park. And now they've already have scheduled their home games to be moved to Wauwatosa West. But, of course, we'll get into more of that when we speak with Andrew. And there's big news out of Green Bay. Packers general manager Brian Gutekunst says quarterback Jordan Love is having a procedure done on his left thumb to repair a ligament issue. Love hurt his thumb during Saturday's preseason loss to the Jets. He was seen with a wrap on his non-throwing hand during Monday's practice. Gutekunst expects Love to return to practice next week and be fine for the start of the regular season. He also expects key players to continue to see time during the preseason.
It's a tough balance, but at the same time, the goals we're trying to accomplish require work, right? And you got to play. I think every team's a little bit different in that regard, but I know this particular team, in my opinion, needs to play together.
The Packers face the Indianapolis Colts Saturday afternoon in preseason game number 2. Jordan Love was not expected to play anyway, and the other good thing about this, it is his non-throwing hand, but these little knick-knack injuries, let's try to get him out the way before the regular season starts.
Well, hopefully he is okay, but no joint practice for Love this week against the Colts. No game for Love, which I guess is fine, against the Colts on Saturday afternoon. And we'll see what it means for the final preseason game. I understand what Gutekunst is saying. The team is very young, so it's not like this is a veteran-laden team where the preseason is just not that big of a deal, right? Aaron Rodgers didn't play much at all the preseason under Matt LaFleur. This is still among the youngest teams in the NFL, so I understand what Gutekunst is getting at, but it's definitely risk-reward here when you talk about playing in the preseason.
Yeah.
2:14 on WTMJ. If you've not seen the pictures from Hart Park in Wauwatosa, text the word WATCH to 855-616-1620. Gina will get it up there. A view of Hart Park's football field. This is where Wauwatosa East, Marquette University High School, Tosa West, where they play their football games. And there's supposed to be a game on Friday. Well, that isn't happening. But how are the school districts in the city working together to ensure that high schoolers can play football in this school district and in the city? We check in with Tosa East Athletic Director Andrew Thompson after this.
At Hazelden Betty Ford, treating mental health isn't just about breaking old patterns, it's about braving new ones. As the leader in alcohol and drug treatment for 75 years, we know caring for addiction, anxiety, depression, and trauma goes hand in hand. We're here for you with new tools when life breaks down. Discover your path to better mental health at hazeldenbettyford.org/Wisconsin. Sponsored by Hazelden Betty Ford Foundation.
Hey, I want to thank everybody who came out to the Hounds and Tap about a week and a half ago for our Greyhound meet and greet and open house. It was a fantastic time. So a lot of kids there. It was family day. They do that at the Hounds and Tap. Bring the kids, bring the dog, enjoy a game, grab something to drink while your dog has fun. You're going to have fun as well. Had 12 Greyhounds show up, and I was talking to some people who drove in from Madison and Beaver Dam to be a part of it. They said, this place is fantastic. Never seen anything like it. They're talking about the Hounds and Tap. 12,000 square foot facility designed for dogs. Humans have a lot of fun there as well. I can attest to that. Our dog loves it for daycare, boarding, grooming services, or just to hang out with other dogs. They have expertly trained dog handlers on staff, and they understand what they're doing. Fantastic people, wonderful people at the Hounds and Tap. It's in Menominee Falls. Our dog Knight loves it there. He's a Greyhound. He has a good time. We always have a good time there as well. Connect with Leah, Armand, and the staff at the Hounds and Tap. Check out their website and see if it's a great fit for you. I'm sure it will be. If you've not checked it out, do yourself a favor and bring the dog out to the Hounds and Tap. If you don't own a dog, hey, all good. You can still enjoy some food from a food truck, the game, while you enjoy an ice-cold drink. You can do it at the Hounds and Tap. It's in Menominee Falls, where every day is a play day.
Paying you to live more comfortably. A deal you do not want to pass up. Vince Vitrano for USA Insulation. They will insulate your walls from the exterior. No disruption inside your home. Blow in loose fiberglass in the attic, plus air seal everything. Most homeowners feeling a difference within 24 to 48 hours. And with government rebates, you could save 40 to 60% or more. No work for you to do. USA Insulation will process everything. Visit usainsulation.net. Start saving today.
USA Insulation.
A buck in today's world doesn't go far unless you're spending it at Griffin. Because for just $1 over cost, you can buy brand new tires from us. Buy one or a whole set. This is Jim Griffin. Any major brand. We'll put you in new tires for just $1 over our cost with free tire repair and lifetime rotation. That's right, $1 over cost, and we'll even show you the invoice to prove it. So what's the catch? There's really no catch. You don't have to buy a car or a truck from us. We'd like it if you did, but our only requirement is we put them on for you. Buy one, two, or a set of four. The $1 deal at Griffin. Available at Griffin Chrysler Jeep South, 27th Street and Jefferson. Griffin Ford, Waukesha, and Fort Atkinson. 5 ways to make your dollar go further. Griffin, the buck stops here, but the deals on tires don't. $1 over cost. That's Griffin.
Not combinable with any other tire offers.
Well, if you've ever been through the village of Wauwatosa, you've no doubt driven by Hart Park, and it's kind of a crowning jewel in Wauwatosa. It's a beautiful park, right? Any one of a number of great things happen at Hart Park, including high school football games. You've got lacrosse, you've got soccer out there, you've got track and field at the park, you've got rec softball nearby, and it's just got a great area to connect and hang out, live music oftentimes during the summer, Heartfest, things along that line. If you text the word watch, you will see the current condition of the football field at Hart Park. Text the word watch to 855-616-1620. It's a turf field, and it gets heavy use, right? I mentioned soccer, lacrosse, just to name a few things, and football. Marquette University High School calls Hart Park home for its football games, as does Wauwatosa East High School. And that is to say, pretty much every week, beginning in middle part of August through the end of football season, there is a game being played at Hart Park. Well, now alternative plans are being made. Text the word watch to 855-616-1620. You'll see what I'm talking about here. Wanted to welcome in Andrew Thompson. He's the Wauwatosa East Athletic Director. Very challenging times right now as they try and get the school year up and running and their athletic seasons. Andrew, thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me on.
Well, the field looks like it's ready for motocross. I described it yesterday as ribbon candy. I've never quite seen anything like this. It looks like it's in the installation phase rather than been just overtaken by the water. What have your conversations with the city been like on the idea that this could eventually come back and be restored to normal?
We've just been kind of talking about the next steps, right? Really a tragic situation throughout the weekend with all the flooding throughout the community. Obviously, Hart Park's damage is getting a lot of publicity, but there's contents of everyone's basement almost along the side of the road. So a lot of personal property and homes were affected, which I'm thinking about them as they kind of get right from the flooding. But as far as Hart Park goes, we had the city had some engineers out there today when I was down there, and just starting the cleanup process, seeing where we can start and seeing the damage that was done to the gravel base of the turf, and just trying to do our best to kind of move forward and get Hart Park in the best shape possible.
Andrew, my daughters are student athletes at Tosa East and are proud Red Raiders, so this definitely is near and dear to me, and I've been following it very closely. And it's not just the football field damage and the damage to the track at Hart Park, but about the equipment. How were you guys able to salvage a lot of the football equipment and other equipment that is stored in some of these places that could have potentially been flooded?
So we have a lot of thanks to give to whoever built that locker room down there. Our training room, as well as our locker room where all the player equipment was housed. I think the water line was only 2 inches high in that building, which thankfully all our player equipment got out dry. That
Nice.
was that's what kept me up all night, thinking about how that would have to completely dry before any type of sanitation to that equipment would work, which just added to the timeline to prepare us for the scrimmage on Friday. There were some concerns with that timing. This morning, I was able to get down there. We have a unit underneath the bleachers, as well as the garage that is in the northwest corner. Thankfully, our buildings and grounds here in the Tosa School District were able to get down there with me, put the work boots on. No office work for me today. And we were in there pulling out all the debris and pads, track mats, football equipment, basically just pushing it out of the sludge with a bobcat for the most part to try and clear it out so Hart can continue with the restoration. But we took care of that, and again, it's just the process of getting the equipment that we need for this fall, doing the best we can to find locations for our sports teams, and just the trickle effect throughout the athletic department is, like you mentioned, it's not just football having to deal with some changes this fall.
Well, let's start with football because, as you mentioned, you were scheduled to have a scrimmage at Hart Park on Friday of this week and a home game to kick off the season on Thursday of next week. Where will those games be played?
Our scrimmage Friday will be hosted at Milwaukee Vincent. They were scheduled to be in that 4-team scrimmage. And then next week, when we take on Riverside, they were able to secure Milwaukee Vincent for that game. So a big shout out to MPS, those schools, and those facilities to allow us to kind of pivot here quickly to get that the scrimmage and week 1 in. And then, Ryan, Andrew, is it just kind of the idea that you'll just go week by week trying to get this figured out? Or, do you imagine that every one of your games scheduled to be at home will have to be somewhere else, potentially playing your entire season on the road, for lack of a better term? So prior to the flooding, it was a pain that we only had 4 games scheduled at home this year. But now it's a little bit of a blessing. So with the week 1 changing to Vincent, we only have 3 remaining home games scheduled, one of which was against Tosa West. So that'll be an easy switch to have it hosted at Tosa West. And then the other 2 remaining home games are October 3rd and October 10th. Those are currently scheduled to be at Tosa West because thankfully they are away those weeks. Now, call me crazy, but I'm hopeful, glass half full, that come October we might be able to get back there to at least practice on the turf and maybe even potentially host some games. Now, I don't want to put pressure on the city, but I would love for that to be a quick turnaround, but who knows, as they might uncover some more damage or some other things that might come up.
Andrew, unprecedented times, of course, and no way to prepare for such devastation like this. And I know a lot of the attention has been on Hart Park, but Wauwatosa East High School does have a field right next to the school that a lot of practices and things of that nature take place for lacrosse and soccer. And how did that field come out?
Thankfully, good. Wauwatosa East in general, due to our location, we got out pretty solid. The typical extremely old building leaks, but nothing major. So the field was good. Even the interior at East made it out all right.
Good.
It's Andrew Thompson, Wauwatosa East Athletic Director, trying to make the best out of a situation that's very challenging for everybody in Wauwatosa and the oft-used Hart Park. Andrew, we appreciate your time. Thanks for joining us, and we'll check it again soon. Hopefully be able to get back on that field before the snow flies.
That would be great. I appreciate the time.
Yep, you bet. Andrew Thompson joining us here on WTMJ. News coming up.
Streaming services, retail chains, and tech giants are all adding plus to their names. It's fairly obvious they were inspired by Hasseless Mattress. Hasseless showrooms are employee-free, plus unbeatable prices on Tempur-Pedic, plus free next-day delivery, plus 60-month interest-free financing on select Tempur-Pedic with approved credit, Plus, a $300 MasterCard gift card with your Tempur-Pedic mattress. Maybe we should change our name to Hassleist Plus. Find an employee-free showroom near you at Hassleist.com.
Siding Unlimited is truly siding and a whole lot more if you've got something. Anything that needs beautifying in your home's exterior, doors, windows, roofing, siding, connect with Siding Unlimited. They will get you back in the game. Take some pictures out to their showroom in Brookfield, 665 Larry Court, right near Gerke's Corners. Tell them I sent you. It truly is siding and a whole lot more. Visit sidingunlimited.com.
This change has leveled us up while being able to maintain the same quality of service that we've always provided, with no upfront fees and 1.9% real estate commission. We're proud to be part of the Century 21 family, so you can move fearlessly with the added confidence of top-of-the-line marketing for maximum home exposure. And that means more eyeballs and the real potential for the highest price for your home. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated. With the ability to market luxury homes on a higher scale than ever before, Century 21 Benefit Realty has taken a huge step forward to tap into a global network of buyers. Maximum exposure to spotlight your unique home with our fine homes and estates marketing so you can sell it for the highest price. And with no upfront fees and 1.9% real estate commission, you win. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated.
Being present and in the moment for family activities was impossible because Will Burt was so focused on the constant pain in his leg.
My wife likes to take walks. I always kind of dreaded going on walks because they hurt. The boys both play baseball. I coach their teams. I was going to do them and be in pain and be uncomfortable and kind of sacrifice my own health.
An old Achilles injury left Will coping with agonizing pain until he discovered the natural biologic treatments at QC Kinetics. No surgery or steroids. The procedure took place in the office, and Will walked right out.
I feel great. There's no pain. There's no tenderness.
Patients like Will are feeling amazing and living their best lives.
Ironically, just got off the golf course today, so I think that's a good telltale sign that the Achilles is feeling better.
Don't be in pain another day. Call QC Kinetics for your free consultation. Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
Escape the city and relax at Lake Lawn Resort in beautiful Delavan, Wisconsin. Enjoy outdoor activities on Delavan Lake, tee off at the Lakeside Majestic Oaks Golf Course, or unwind at the award-winning Caladora Spa. With both indoor and outdoor pools, there's fun for the whole family. Take a cruise on the Lake Lawn Queen, explore stunning shores and historic landmarks, and enjoy delicious food and drinks on board. Book your stay today at lakelawnresort.com, where everything is better at the lake.
It's 2:30. I'm Greg Matzek. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Tuesday, August 12th. Your top story, voluntary evacuations in Germantown.
I'm Telly Hughes, in for Jessica Ty, recovering after being shot in Oshkosh.
Flood warnings extended till Friday morning for Waukesha and Ozaukee counties and until further notice in Milwaukee County. Clear tonight and a low of 65, 80 and sunny on Wednesday.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. National Guard troops federalized by President Trump are being mobilized to assist police in Washington, D.C. The president taking control of local law enforcement in the District of Columbia, he says, to curb crime. The plan includes dealing with D.C.'s homeless population.
The president has vowed to clear out D.C.'s homeless encampments and to, quote, try to take care of those who've been living on the street. Pressed for details, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said officials will begin enforcing laws that have long been on the books. Those in tents or on sidewalks will be offered options.
To be taken to a homeless shelter, to be offered addiction or mental health services, and if they refuse, they will be susceptible to fines or to jail time.
Stephen Portnoy, ABC News, Washington.
Extreme heat leading to record temperatures on both coasts. Residents in Oregon seeing rare temperatures up in the upper 90s. And in the Midwest, smoke drifting down from Canada wildfires leading to poor air quality and health alerts. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 2:31.
Assessing the damage with Milwaukee County residents. County Executive David Crowley speaking with Milwaukee residents about their cleanup efforts following the storms and flooding from the weekend.
What we want to really focus on is making sure that we can continue to help out as many people as possible. This is the recovery efforts. And so we hope, one, that folks have the insurance in order to cover it. If they don't, we know that it's going to take, folks like the government to step up. And so whether that's the local, state, or federal level, it is our hope that we do everything that we can to coordinate, not only as the public sector, but even with the private sector.
Crowley encourages residents who have storm damage in their home to report it to 211 to better effort and calculate disaster aid for the other.
Cleanup efforts continue in Wauwatosa after a weekend of intense rains and severe flooding.
City Fire Chief Jim Case says the fire department has been working around the clock since Saturday evening to help residents.
Through those calls, there were numerous requests for assistance from people trapped in vehicles in rising waters to things such as my basement is flooding and the water's coming up quick. I need help getting out of my house.
Chief Case says the city is still assessing damage before making any report to state officials.
We've started damage assessment process. This data gets reported up to the county, who then can report it to the state to get a better picture of the entire region and what that damage level has been.
Sean Brenda, WTMJ News.
Officials in Germantown conducting voluntary evacuations of the Rivers Bend Circle subdivision due to ongoing flooding and power outages. Fire Chief John Delane says personnel are actively canvassing the area, attempting to contact all residents.
We will continue working on this until we're confident that everybody who wants to get out has gotten out. In addition, we have had a number of residents who were able to self-rescue via some higher land that are in the middle of the neighborhoods. And we did perform one rescue yesterday, earlier in the day, for an elderly person.
And the subdivision is located just west of 4145 near County Line Road, where freeway flooding has been ongoing since early this morning.
A deadly farm accident in the town of Sun Prairie. The Dane County Sheriff's Office finds that human remains found in a manure pit were likely the results of an accident. Deputies responded before 7 a.m. on Saturday to a farm near State Highway 19 and Charlotte's Way. A 62-year-old man was found dead in the pit. He was not associated with the farm where he was found.
A story correction here on WTMJ. We erroneously aired a story on Monday regarding a letter written by Pope Leo XIV in response to survivors of clergy abuse. The story said this was in response to survivors of clergy abuse in the Archdiocese of Milwaukee. Now, this portion of the story was not correct, and we apologize for the error.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 2:34.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano for Inspired Closets, something that can positively affect your mood, getting organized and clearing out the clutter. A well-rounded closet could be the most powerful room in your home. Inspired Closets can transform your closets or laundry room, your pantry, any space in your house. What separates Inspired Closets from the others? Their 3D design software and a culture that promises to build what you want and need. Call my friends Katie and Dan today, a wife-husband team ready to help. Inspired Days start in Inspired Closets. InspiredClosetsMilwaukee.com. Healthy joints, healthy lifestyle. Vince Vitrano for Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Arthritis, injuries, wear and tear, common joint issues that keep you from doing what you love. At OAW, a visit to the doctor doesn't always mean surgery. Everyone is different. Surgeons, nurses, physical therapists work together to come up with a plan for you. Maybe it's PT, medication, injection, and if you do need surgery like I did, you know you're in the best of hands. Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, there is a difference. Book an appointment online at orthowisconsin.com.
Imagine that unbelievable new deck in your backyard. Outdoor Living Unlimited is Wisconsin's #1 TimberTech deck builder. Building new decks and replacing old ones, creating that $1 million feeling every time you relax in your own backyard. Looking for a company to make your backyard scream wow? Stop by Outdoor Living Unlimited's resourceful Waukesha showroom and visit OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
Looking for an e-bike? Shop Wheel and Sprocket and find rows and rows of bikes in a bunch of different styles and colors for you to see, touch, feel, and even test ride.
Visit WheelAndSprocket.com for a location near you.
Life is short. Enjoy your ride.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. The Brewers go for 11 in a row tonight in Game 2 of a 3-game series against the Pirates. Not going to be easy for Pat Murphy's lineup. They go against Pirates All-Star Paul Skeens.
We have to play up-tempo baseball and offensively, We have to do that, against whoever's pitching. It doesn't matter. We're not going to sit back and try to slug. That's not our game. And I know I hear that that's the only way to win in big situations, whatever. We have to do what we have to do, who we are.
Coverage of tonight's game begins following the 6 o'clock news on WTMJ. And surgery for Packers quarterback Jordan Love, a procedure done on his left thumb to repair a ligament issue. It popped up during Saturday's preseason loss to the Jets. Gutekunst expects Love to return to practice next week and be fine for the start of the regular season. The injury is on his non-throwing hand. Packers will travel to Indianapolis for a joint practice with the Colts on Thursday. And in college football, Texas, Penn State, Ohio State, Clemson, and Georgia make up the preseason top 5, according to the Associated Press. Taking a look at the roads, a WTMJ time saver traffic update. A lot of the issues here are on 41, 45. No big surprise. You've got your usual delays through the construction zones. If you're headed northbound, it's about a 5-minute delay to get from 94 up to Good Hope Road. And the delays begin right around Watertown Plank. You should be back to normal freeway speed before you get to Burleigh. If you're headed southbound, your delays begin right around Mill Road or so. In fact, a little north of Mill Road, and they extend all the way down through to Capitol Drive. Again, that's through the construction zone. Now you're still tapping on the brakes as you approach 94, but you're really getting locked up here. About a 7-minute delay if you're making your way from the county line down to 94. A little bit further north on that stretch as you're headed toward Highway 167 and County Line Road. Flooding on the roadway here. On the freeway, 41, 45 northbound, about a half mile beyond the ramp from County Line Road. The right lane is closed due to flooding.
Here is the WTMJ 5-day forecast. Flood warnings are extended until Friday morning for Waukesha and Ozaukee counties and until further notice for Milwaukee County. For the rest of this evening, some areas could expect heavy rain, but partly sunny and warm with a high of 82. Things will clear out tonight with a low of 65. Wednesday and Thursday will be repeat days, meaning both days will be mostly sunny with a high of 80. Friday, a little warmer, mostly sunny with a high of 84. And Saturday, highs will top out at 86. In Milwaukee, it's 80 degrees. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ news time is 2:39.
Well, one of the most horrific school shootings in recent memory took place about 3.5 years ago in Uvalde, Texas. Well, 3.5 years later, a community still trying to recover, but students will be back in schools in Uvalde this week, and surveillance cameras will be up and running, but not ordinary surveillance cameras. Uvalde and the school system working with local leaders to try and make sure nothing like what happened 3.5 years ago ever happens again. We welcome in ABC's Jim Ryan, who is covering the story in Texas. Jim, not ordinary surveillance cameras is what I'm able to surmise here after reading up on what the schools district is trying to do.
Well, yeah, I mean, the cameras are pretty standard. They've been there for several years. 550 cameras in that little school district on 8 campuses. 550. And again, they're fairly standard cameras. But now they've been equipped with AI. So some software has been added to the mix, which will analyze the images coming in from those security cameras. They first identify a person, a torso, a legs, arms, the head, and then determine whether that person is carrying anything, and then analyze what that person is carrying, whether it's a book, a backpack, or a gun. And so, and immediately, if it is identified as a handgun or a rifle or a shotgun, then immediately the security personnel are notified that this is going on. Would it have prevented what happened on May 24th, 2022? Perhaps, because at that time, this 18-year-old gunman carrying a rifle walked up to the school, went through an open door, unimpeded, and opened fire, killing 21 people, including 19 students. Would the camera have stopped this? Potentially, because it would have identified that a person with a gun was on campus or was in the building, and action might have been taken to stop what happened with the death of those kids. So, it's gone into effect, and tomorrow when the kids come back, that software will be up and running.
Jim, 3.5 years later, what else has the school district done to try and mitigate risk, trying to keep everybody safe? It feels like this is one step of likely a multifaceted approach.
Well, it is. Bulletproof glass, improving policies. First of all, that kid walked through an unlocked door at Robb Elementary School. It was supposed to be locked, so there was that policy violation. So policies are in place. They're much more stringently observed than they were beforehand. So that's been part of it, but also some physical upgrades as well. Fencing, high fencing around the campus, steel fences to keep people from getting in if they're not supposed to be there. So things have been done in the 3 years since then. I think this measure, this AI enhanced camera system, it does provide this real life and hardened defense against people with guns on campus. But it's also, I think, peace of mind as much as anything else for teachers and administrators, for parents, and for kids especially, that somebody is watching all the time.
That was my next question. So who monitors this? Is there some sort of central office that keeps track of any sort of flagged image or video that comes the way of some sort of central office or system?
Yes, exactly. So somebody is sitting there in the security office watching these monitors to see what's going on. But if that person should happen to get up and walk away for a minute, if the camera system picks it up, then text messages go out, notifications go out immediately that something needs to be looked at immediately. So it's never a blinking eye, essentially.
Very interesting stuff. Jim, do they have any level of metal detection system as students and faculty or anybody from the outside enters the school at any one of these buildings on campus?
Well, they do, and then that was not in place 3 years ago, but that's been added as an element there. But really, it's just a raised awareness. So, along with these physical barriers, the fences, the door policies, this security camera, it's awareness and letting people know that they need to be watching for trouble. And I think that may go as far as this camera system.
Jim Ryan covering the story here in Texas. Jim, while we have you here, another story out of Texas here, a shooting at an Austin, Texas Target. What do we know about this?
Yeah, well, it was a little after 2 yesterday afternoon when somebody heard gunshots in the parking lot of a Target store. 2 people had been shot and killed. One of them might have been a child. We haven't been told specifically the ages of these people. Then the gunman shot somebody, killed that person, the third person, hijacked that car and drove away, wrecked that car, then carjacked someone else, took that vehicle, drove about 10 miles away to the south part of Austin. This all happened in North Austin at that Target store, was eventually tracked down and subdued with a taser and taken into custody. All we know about that person is that he's a 32-year-old white male, and the police say he has some kind of mental health issue or has had a mental health history. The name hasn't been released, nor have the names of the victims. So still a lot to learn about that case, about that triple homicide outside a Target store.
Scary situation in Austin, Texas. ABC's Jim Ryan with us from Texas. Jim, we appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, Greg.
Hey, boaters, cruise to Kendor Marine. We've got everything you need but the water. Got an old boat, a new boat in between. Kendor Marine. Upholstery and parts, hard to find things. Kendor Marine. Hey, boaters, cruise to Kendor Marine. We've got everything you need but the water. Everything you need but the water. Hey, boaters, cruise to Kendor Marine. We've got everything you need but the water. Like a boat-loving kid in a candy store. Kendor Marine. If you have a question, we have the expertise at Kendor Marine. Hey, boaters, cruise to Kendor Marine. We've got everything you need but the water.
Easy to find at 57th and Ryan Road in Franklin or at KendorMarine.com.
Protect your liver and give it the support it deserves with Active Liver from New Nordic. Find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS, Meijer Grocery, or online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com.
Find furniture for life from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee.
Hey, it's your friend John McGivern. In a world full of chaos, I'm grateful for a health plan that has my back. Network Health is so reliable and trustworthy, they always put me and over 126,000 members first. It's just what they do and what they've always done for over 41 years. Call 833-7-NETWORK today. HMO and POS plans underwritten by Network Health Plan. Compensation has been provided for using this endorsement of Network Health.
Without an Advent clinic nearby, people suffering needlessly from chronic nasal congestion and sinus infections would be stuck with either Band-Aid or sledgehammer solutions. Band-Aids are pills or nasal sprays, and they're not true solutions. Surgery is a sledgehammer, and that's what we're trying to avoid. Because most people don't need surgery for nose and sinus issues, nor do they want a 14-day recovery. Our unique Advent approach can, in 20 minutes in our office, open your blocked nose for good, with only 1-day recovery. I'm Advent founder Dr. Kandula. Outside of Advent's 4 walls, invasive surgery is what they'll recommend. But here you will find effective and convenient in-office solutions to help you stop the need for Band-Aids and avoid the sledgehammer.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Most insurance accepted.
So, Alex, why don't you tell us about Lion's Tail?
We've been brewing for 10 years, and now we're busy expanding into Milwaukee, trying to get on every shelf of every store and on tap at every restaurant.
How has Horicon Bank been a part of your story?
Horicon Bank understands the needs of small businesses versus working with a big bank. Horicon, they're much like a small business, just like we are. I know most of the people on that team. It's nice working with someone that understands your business.
A pretty nice stretch of weather once we clear things out today. That morning rain is all but gone. It's beyond Wisconsin, over Lake Michigan, and now really encroaching out of central Michigan. So that is a thing of the past here. We're trying to get some sun to peak out here in southeastern Wisconsin. It is in some areas still cloudy here downtown Milwaukee. Should be clearing tonight with a low of 65. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday look great with highs in the low to mid 80s under sunny skies. There is a chance for rain entering the forecast on Saturday and Sunday. So we'll keep an eye on that, but a few days at least where we should be dry with comfortable summer-like temperatures. 76 degrees and cloudy in Milwaukee at 2:49. Well, Milwaukee's favorite band, the Violent Femmes, adding another show in Milwaukee to its tour. WTMJ's Eric Bilstad explains.
The Femmes were already set to play the Riverside on Saturday, October 18th. That show is sold out. Therefore, the Pabst Theater Group just announced a new show date. The Femmes are going to play the same venue the very next day, Sunday, October 19th.
The first show sold out. That's why we have the second one, right? Adding the second one, people are going to be like, oh, wow. Here's the other thing, too. We're still firing on all cylinders.
Drummer John Sparrow on Wisconsin's Morning News. Sparrow says he's proud of the longevity the 40-year-old band has had.
We are all having fun. We have a great time doing it. And it's kind of cute because when you see in the audience, there's a grandmother, there's the daughter, and then the granddaughter, or whatever it is, the combination. And I certainly go, wow, how cool.
Sparrow just celebrated his 20th anniversary playing with the Femmes. In fact, believe it or not, the Femmes were the first show he ever saw.
The Marcus Amphitheater, they were opening up for the B-52s in 1991. That was my first rock concert. My buddy had taken me to the show, and he's like, you want to go see this? And I said, well, yeah, I love them. You know, as a drummer, I loved what Victor was doing with the brushes, and I could relate to that being a jazz guy. So I'm like, oh, yeah, I'll go see those guys. Yeah, this is awesome. It was quite the experience. And then, ironically, it was, 2013? When we played at the Marcus Amphitheater, we were on stage getting ready for sound check, and Brian said, oh, yeah, so when's the last time we played here? And I said, 1991. I sat right over there.
I know that. The new show date, October 19th. And Sparrow says he expects to put on a great performance for a great city.
I think Milwaukee really loves the band. I mean, I hope so, because we're Milwaukee's sweethearts, right?
Violent Femmes, a couple of shows coming up here. It's a band that has been around for so long here. You think about Milwaukee music, one of those bands that always comes to mind is the Violent Femmes. Whether you've been to the shows or not, it certainly helped put Milwaukee music on the map, the Violent Femmes. A staple at Summerfest, for sure.
Yeah, that's nice. I have yet to see them, but it gives me something to look forward to.
2:51 on WTMJ. We'll wrap up the program with some final thoughts after this.
Here's the secret no one's telling you about those trendy weight loss shots. Many people gain the weight back after stopping, but there's a better way. Using the Milwaukee Weight Loss proprietary natural-based program, we've helped thousands of people not just lose weight, but keep it off long-term. You can lose up to 10 to 20% of your body weight in just 8 weeks while protecting your muscle mass. No side effects, no rebounds. Ready to transform your body for life? You can do this. Schedule your free consultation today at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com.
Hey, it's WTMJ's Steve Scafidi. I dropped 40 pounds with Milwaukee Weight Loss. No crazy workouts, no meal kits or shakes, and definitely no meds or injections. They helped reset my metabolism, and the weight's actually stayed off. It's been a game changer for me. Many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in a month or two. Schedule your free consultation today by calling 262-393-2334. One more time, 262-393-2334. Or online at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com.
You should be listening to Wisconsin's Midday News with Greg Matzek and Jessica Ty each weekday.
Fascinatingly, a growing number of people are resorting to hocus pocus to get what they want. Okay, you doing this? Would you do $3?
No.
How about 300?
I think it's odd, but apparently a lot of people don't.
But if you missed us, catch up anytime with our Wisconsin's Midday News podcast. Powered by Siding Unlimited. It's siding and a whole lot more.
So subscribe, take us with you wherever you go.
It's worth $100 now to save thousands later. Vince Vitrano for Urban Heating and Cooling. Family-owned business. Ryan and his wife, Ellie. I had Ryan out to the Vitrano house for an AC tune-up. Cleaned out all the coils, checked for any issues that could cause breakdowns, set up my air conditioner to run more efficiently all summer. This service available in your home for just $99 plus tax, saving on your electric bills, helping prevent more costly repairs down the road. Tell them Vinny sent you when you call. UrbanHeatingandCooling.com.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
We're wrapping up a Tuesday edition of Wisconsin's Midday News on WTMJ. Greg Matzek and Telly Hughes. Jessica back tomorrow. We are shortened up tomorrow because of Brewers baseball. Of course, the big question is, will they be going for 12 in a row on Wednesday afternoon as they round out that series with the Pirates? And I don't want to get too far ahead of myself here. No, not talking about burgers, Telly, but it's hard to ignore what is coming here next week for the Brewers, and that's this 5-game series at Wrigley Field. The Brewers have created a little separation between themselves and the Cubs. And the Cubs have not been terrible. It's just the Brewers have been unbelievable.
Right.
And that's why there's this 6.5-game separation going into tonight's contest against the Pirates. But it starts with a doubleheader on Monday because of that makeup situation. So you got an afternoon game Thursday, a couple of games in between. It's an amazing, amazing opportunity for the Brewers to completely destroy the Cubs' hopes of winning the division.
Yeah, but I also don't like the fact that in one series, the Cubs could be within one if they swept the Brewers in a 5-game series. So I do like the fact that, again, the Brewers could get some major separation heading into, the latter days of August and into September. But, I mean, just that overall stretch, Greg, is an amazing stretch because I want to say there's 19 games in 18 days, and no days off. And so, but the Brewers, the beat keeps going every single day. And so you don't really feel that apprehensive about this stretch because how well they're playing, but it's still a very important, tough stretch coming up for the Brewers.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, they're at a point now where they're 30 games above 500, and they could play, right around 500 baseball and still be over 90 wins. That's kind of a usual threshold to be a playoff team. I don't think anybody is worried about the Brewers being a playoff team anymore. It's more about, what will their seeding be? Can they hang on to the division title? And who knows, maybe even be a top seed going into the postseason. Pretty amazing to me that at this juncture of the season, especially after how the season started, which feels like 2 seasons ago, the Brewers have the best run differential in baseball, the best record in baseball by a comfortable margin. Nobody else has 70 wins, and the Brewers are sitting here with 74. Tough tonight, no doubt about that. You got an all-star pitcher on the mound in Paul Skeens. He is very good. The Pirates' offense is not very good, so maybe runs will be at a premium tonight, one of those 3-2 or 2-1 kind of contests. But it seems like the Brewers can win 11-8. They can win 3-1.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter. They have among the best records in one-run games, which
Yeah.
is a key stat.
And that's one of the greatest things about this team that you really enjoy. It's not that they are a team that relies on the long ball. They do the things that are fundamentally sound and just the basics of baseball. Just put the ball in play and put pressure on the defense. Make them make plays in order to get you out. Don't give them outs. And the Brewers have been great at that. They haven't been striking out a lot. They haven't been having a lot of miscues. I think you said that they committed their first error in 12 games. So
That's
they're
crazy.
they're getting sound defense and sound pitching and timely hitting. And that's pretty much winning baseball's formula.
Yeah, a lot of fun right now at American Family Field, as you might imagine. Should be a great crowd tonight and hopefully a great crowd tomorrow, too, as they wind up the series with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Coverage of tonight's game gets underway following the 6 o'clock news on WTMJ. We are out of time on the program. Wisconsin's Afternoon News with John and Julia coming up in just a few minutes.
When's the last time you hopped out of bed without that knee or your back just aching? Or you walked down a flight of stairs without groaning?